Welcome back to another episode of the Adam and Wack Show, a bonus episode, if you will. And today we have decided to convene with the viral way, coming straight out of Long Beach. So watch your mouth.
Listen, you know
we don't want to hear any LB slander, buddy.
Never LB slander. I got comrades over there. But this what our first thing I knows about y'all. Y'all keeping the look up, but y'all got some bougie shit going on.
What you mean?
What's the bougie shit?
Because see,
He started
y'all
already.
call them lokes.
Versace
We
glasses.
call them murder ones, but y'all got the Versace joints.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They got the look. The front is the look. They still got the 80s look, but the bougie shit is on the side of them.
Nah, you ain't gonna find the looks like that unless you go dig down and get them.
You got to go to the swap meet.
Nah, it's a new generation. What Nip say? Fly crippin'. You feel me?
There you go.
Keep it that way.
I guess they're saying this chair might be better for the squeakiness.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know if
yeah,
you want to
for
do the
sure.
switch out. Yeah.
I ain't never heard
Nah,
nobody
that make
squeaking
more
like that
sense,
in that
yeah.
goddamn
Yeah,
shit.
this chairs have been squeaking a lot. We got to really try to address that.
Flacco sat in that motherfucker or what?
Oh, he is a bit of a stress test. Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad to have you guys in there. What kind of preconceived notions are you coming in here with about the viral way? Because we wanted to have Brandon in here, but unfortunately, you're shook,
No, I'm not sure. I'm just
Terrified.
not stupid.
scared of someone with a martial arts background and a brain.
I don't know what his background is. I just know that the dude's playing a crafty game. He can get almighty because almighty ain't paying attention to what's going on. Brandon know how to go here, there, and then play victim and Karen on your ass, right? So my thing is, I don't mind my talking crazy, long as I can talk crazy back, and then if it get crazy, don't go civilian on me. I'm scared of them type of dudes today.
Okay, you guys know him better than us. Do you agree with his analysis that he thinks that Brandon is
respects
trying
them.
to destroy No Jumper
They
from the
don't got
inside?
to deal with what we got to deal with.
What do you mean? They know him way better than us.
No, listen to him talk about them, right? He respects them. Like one of y'all in the crypto or do a bunch of shit, he respects what they doing, right?
Yeah.
So when they speak, right, he's gonna listen. They don't never gotta go through what we gotta go through with him. If they don't want to talk about it, they're gonna be like, shh, and he gonna kill it.
I like how you're acting like you've been to hell and
It's
back
the
with
truth.
Brandon. Like you guys are real
talk about it.
bros. You've been through everything.
They got to run them episodes back because we argue and debate with him more than y'all do.
Yeah, I've never seen Brandon. I watched him a couple times, and I just like the way he articulates himself. Because I could tell they been to the joint, they did time, they from the streets, but they not dummies.
Is that true? You guys have done time? I didn't know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, they not dumb. Like I can't. If you talking to me with street language, it irritates me. Changing motherfucking B's to C's.
He just
to
said that he
C's.
can't f with King Pill because when King Pill met him, he did not introduce himself by his gang affiliation.
No, he never identified
mixed
himself.
signals coming from you.
He never identified himself. The nigga was a belly dancer.
Okay.
Belly dance was crazy. What's
Belly
your beef
dance-
with, hold on, what's his beef with Brandon though? I didn't know there was beefing. I thought y'all
it's-
squashed.
I
Brandon
did-
threatened to whoop his ass.
No, he didn't. He never threatened to do that. Brandon, for some reason, I feel like dude is on a mission to prove himself and get a name for himself by going at people, which is cool. But when I heard the nigga start screaming, he got a knife, at that point, I'd be like, okay, well, let me leave that alone.
So somebody pulls a knife on you on a podcast, you're not allowed to announce that the person has a knife.
But Brandon can know.
And it only seems damning because they've made the whole screen go black. If they hadn't have done that, everybody would have
Let
seen
me
the knife, and
understand
everybody
why
would have.
Brandon can.
It wouldn't have mattered that he said it.
My son, I raised like Brandon. My son, L7 square, he licensed to do shit.
So
He'll
Brandon
shoot-
was
like-
from a hood, and
No,
actually the enemy hood of them, which is
I think
interesting.
Brandon grew up in somebody's hood, but I don't think Brandon was like gang banging and shit. I think he understands it.
No, he said
We
he
got
was
a lot
getting
of
bullied
cats
on the
that-
way home, so he had
We
to.
got a lot of cats that grew up on the block, but they understand it. They know who's what, who's doing what, but they not that. But I get his game.
How long you guys even been close with him?
I knew Brandon for like 10 years now.
Oh shit! Okay,
Yeah,
so-
I've been on it for like 10 years.
I met him like since we started podcasting. I say so a couple years through bro.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because I met him on some, he used to, on his Pan-African shit real heavy. So, we had like some shit going on in the community I used to pull up to. And that's really how I met him. Because he knew my baby mama before I knew him. So we kind of had to like always mutuals, but I never was running into him like that.
Okay.
See, I just learned as much as what y'all did just now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because by the time I met him, he was done with the gangbanging shit. Like,
Okay.
you know?
Also, he was from a set.
Yeah, he's from Torrance.
Nah, he's from the other
originally.
side.
Huh?
Yeah, he's from Torrance.
They've been saying he's
his
from
daddy
Torrance
from the set.
originally.
No, his daddy from the set. He from over there.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
But he.
So he really gangbang.
I don't know the extent of it, but you know, as a young teen for sure, probably so.
And it's because, see, this is what I didn't understand, right? He playing with Almighty, right? And he know how these young niggas play, especially a dude that he knows he ain't got no win. He know that. So I'm sitting there watching him like, damn, dude, he know what to expect from that, especially round 2. Now you done told him you can do jiu-jitsu or MMA, whatever you do. You look like you about 260, 280. You a solid dude. This little nigga ain't finna play fair with you.
Yeah,
I think he has a CCW.
Yeah, regardless, y'all knew what was coming from that. Y'all placing them in the same room.
You talk about, I said the same shit.
We can only blame Lush and Josh for that.
I said the same
what
thing.
time it was.
I said, bro, said, first of all, why did y'all even put dude back in that room?
To figure out who was the biggest, baddest one in the room.
But see, I'm understanding already, round 2, dude is going to play it different. So is it worth that?
Okay, so this is the thing. They knew that they were going to be in the same room doing a podcast. This is the thing, though. Almighty changed his number. So we didn't realize that we were texting Almighty's old number, telling him about it. So according to Almighty, he found out that morning from looking at Instagram, and his attitude was, well, I'm not going to look like a bitch and not show up to the podcast, so I'm showing up.
So look like a dummy and lose your job. I'd have lost that battle to win the war. The war would have been,
We all know your shit.
don't show up to this one so you could continue to show up to your he needed the job.
But you are Mr. like moves super tactical. Like you don't ever put yourself in a
right.
situation that you don't want to be in. Some people value their freedom and still want to be able to move around. And, you know, I'm sure, well, I can't say that I'm sure he didn't expect to get into a situation since apparently he brought a weapon, but I mean, I'm sure he thought that he would be able to make it through that situation, which Brandon is. When Brandon wants to
he
antagonize
ain't got
you,
no win with Brandon in that
he's
little
good at
ass
it.
room.
It don't
He's good
matter
at
though,
it.
but the fact that y'all had security, y'all knew what the was going on.
we wanted to save them from themselves, which it did work.
Yeah, so you called security last minute or something?
No, we had security on deck the whole time because we wanted to make sure that if anything did happen, that, you know,
Yeah, but
it
why
couldn't go too far.
But why even run the risk of that
Because we wanted to bring people together.
for the content?
Yeah, it went,
Well,
and
to
it went
bring brothers
crazy. It went
together.
up.
It went
didn't it?
exactly how they wanted it to go.
No,
Yeah,
I
it didn't
wouldn't
go
say that.
exactly how Almighty wanted it to go.
Nah, not
He
at
got
all.
a job.
But it did help with his street rep, right?
What street rep?
Now
He
he's
ain't got
locked up and he's able to say, I
He
almost
don't-
stabbed somebody a
he
couple
don't
days
have
ago.
a street rep. His lack of street rep is what made him do that. Brandon did his research, found out the politics of where he was from, found the video. Look, everything else was cool. Is when Brandon poked the bear and said, yeah, like you was in that alley on your back, kicking your feet, begging for help, that's when they was putting him off. That's what triggered him.
I think it was actually a different thing.
Bullshit.
Nah, it was that for sure.
Every time.
Nah, it was that.
That's what triggered it.
Almighty has told us multiple times that video is not him getting put off the hood. That's him
That's
getting
definitely-
into a situation
No,
with
that's
something
definitely
else.
him getting put off.
I mean, I don't know.
That's why he tells you you're not a gang member.
I don't know. He
Right.
said that on the podcast before. I don't know.
Yeah, so, but end of the day, Brandon fought back. I will say Almighty kept using the bitch word.
Yeah.
I told him, you shouldn't even did that. Mentally, you ain't ready for that. Brandon ready for him. It ain't nothing dude can say to Brandon that Brandon's going to care about. He's going to keep picking and poking and picking and poking until you crack. You can call Brandon whatever you want. He going to say, I don't care. You can call him a bitch. That's cool. As long as you don't put your hands on him.
I think that's how Brandon felt at first, because keep in mind,
No, when he spit on him, that's when Brandon
on
reacted.
the podcast, when Almighty first pointed at the door and said, let's go outside, let's go run the fade, he had no idea that Brandon is super strong and like mega, like probably
Well, that's
extremely
on- that's
difficult
on
to get
him.
in a fight with.
And you can't-
But if Brandon had got up at that moment and said, all right, let's go, and
Listen,
I believe
there's
that
a
fight only
difference.
could have gone one way.
Look,
That would have been a very different
Listen,
path for this whole
that's
story.
on Almighty. There's a difference between a fat, sloppy nigga.
Yes.
Then
And
a-
Almighty
a
definitely thought
solid-
he was talking to
then a
Louis
solid
Anderson.
big dude.
Didn't realize he was talking to somebody that can
nigga's a
bench
tackle,
500.
nigga.
Yeah.
That's a solid big dude.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You could tell he can move.
Like you.
So that's on Almighty. If Almighty didn't know how to tell what he was dealing with, then that's on him. But, you know, Brandon, he won that. And Brandon don't care. He don't give a shit. He hope he never don't come back. Brandon's on his mission.
I mean, he's still trashing him on his story like right now.
Man, he PC'd him up. He didn't tell the niggas a PC. Y'all let him get that off.
So why you won't sit down with him?
Because I know he's a gaslighter.
You feel like he gonna get under your skin?
Yeah, you think he's going to win physically and mentally?
No, I'm not worried about that because I'm not Almighty. My
I
politics.
think you're scared to sit down with somebody that you know has the upper hand physically and mentally.
He don't got the upper hand on me.
Well, then why wouldn't you sit down with him?
This is the reason. He would never have the upper hand on me. I understand he's a very intellectual brother, right?
Yeah.
I have no problem when somebody's talking about something I don't know nothing about, turning into the student. I'm never going to challenge him on some shit that I know I don't know nothing about. I'm going to tell him to educate me. The only time you get into a pickle with him is if you challenge him on some shit that you don't know nothing about. As if you do, then he going to eat your ass up.
Yeah.
Right? He's a very intellectual brother. I give him that. He did a great job with that white dude. Right? I salute him on that. But I could be wrong. I think he's on a mission to gaslight people, put them in a trick bag, and I just what I feel. And I got to go with my gut feeling.
So you think he's going to put you in the trick bag and then you're not going to be able to deal with it?
His position is, I can't do what he can do. He can start some shit, do some shit, and tell, and it's cool. He's going to laugh about it.
Why are we even thinking about any kind of illegal behavior?
Because
who's he going to have to tell to?
Because you're a white dude.
But you're going to beat the shit out of him and then he's going to tell? Like, if you don't hit him, then what's he going to tell for?
Okay, watch this. It's certain things that you can do or say to him to where you might get that reaction, or me, or whatever. We all got our little short fuse things, right? And I understand that. See, know your strengths and know your weaknesses, right? I don't mind entertaining my evil. You know how I stay away from entertaining it? I stay away from those things that's going to make me go to that. So I just feel right now at this point in time that Brandon is a gaslighter. And I feel like he not going to play it all the way out.
But if you know he only keeping the content, what's the problem?
Keeping it content is a little different because some shit ain't content.
The difference is, I think he has respect
I
for
can
you,
say some
ultimately.
shit to you that's not content.
Yeah, for sure.
You get what I'm saying? Everything's not content to us. So in my head, if Brandon was a super L7 dude, right, then I would be like, maybe he didn't know.
Which you thought he was until like 5 minutes ago.
No. I knew he come from something.
All right.
Because I can hear his speech, but I know Brandon know what he doing and what he's saying, and I feel like he'll do or say some shit that he know I'm supposed to react like. If I don't react, you's a bitch, Wack. But
Yeah,
then if I do react,
He's going to say something about you laying on your
you
belly.
get what I'm saying?
So do you think it's because you're not going to be able to trigger him because he just don't give a fuck about what you say? Because you a gaslighter too.
Yeah, get the
I don't
exposures
a
on him.
gaslighter for sure.
But no,
Put together a
because
dossier
this
of
is the thing,
information
right?
beforehand.
I don't got nothing to trigger the nigga about. I ain't got no issues with him. I just don't like he treads that police line shit.
What's the police shit? Just saying that somebody had a knife?
And that's police shit.
Oh, that was such a stretch.
Huh?
He didn't call the police. The police weren't notified in
Nigga,
any
you
way.
niggas is
He
lying.
made an objective statement about something that he was seeing on camera, which
You
is
got
not
the
illegal. It's not
You
illegal to
got
have
the
a
most
knife.
police watch platform.
What is the thing that he did that was police adjacent?
Oh, you got a knife. You got a knife.
If he said, "Oh, he's got a gun with a switch on it," if he said he got a Uzi, all right, now we're talking.
No,
it's not illegal to have a goddamn knife in your pocket unless it's a specific type of
Okay,
knife.
now watch this. Let's say 3 months from now, Almighty in the mall stab a motherfucker. I guarantee you that clip gonna be in this paperwork.
Yeah, but I mean that makes him a snitch.
No, I'm not.
He pulled it out on camera, and the guy who said an accurate description of what was going on in front of him is the snitch, not
And you agree
the
with
person
it, right?
who did it on camera.
You agree with it, right?
With what?
What he did?
No, I don't care. Yeah, why not?
But so do you agree with him screaming that out?
Especially in the heat of the moment. Yeah, I can't blame him for that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm never going to agree with you. You a civilian L7 white dude who believe in calling the
tuna,
police.
brother.
You call the police too, right?
No.
What?
Although you've advised me to in the past.
What? Advise you to do what? I know you gonna call the police.
I don't have to.
If I whoop your ass on camera, you absolutely making a report.
If
That's
you
why.
whoop my ass
That's
on
why
camera,
I've already told myself the day you got to whoop his ass.
No.
Whoop his ass good.
No.
Because you going to
if you
jail.
just whoop my ass,
You call the police.
no. Why would I call the police over
You're
a
calling
fair
the
ass
police.
beating?
Why fire him instead of like suspending him though?
That's what I said.
Because y'all created the situation.
That's what I
But even by hiring security, you like, okay, it's a chance this can get physical. So when it get physical, it's like you can't get mad because this is the perfect.
But it's
storm
like the
to
same
create.
reason that we put Brick and Loose Cannon on camera together. If people have had issues and the people want to see
a
them
lot.
on
That's
camera
a lot.
together,
Hold on,
totally
bro.
different. They
and you saw how that one worked out.
Them niggas been running the play the whole time, and you know it.
Them?
No, Brick and Loose. It was
No.
a fake play the whole time.
Was it?
Hey, man.
Why do you think that?
Adam be playing crazy. He know that.
Hey, bro.
A play. I don't.
That's why
Why would I
Adam,
miss that?
that's why Adam was on the flight. He was gone. He already knew what time it was.
It
When I
was a
get back,
fake
you
play
better
the
get out of
whole
here.
time.
I don't believe that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't want,
Okay, so you're
Almighty
telling
was
me-
out of, they was trying to get him up out of here, man.
Brick Baby, who looks at Big U as his big homie, as Unk.
No,
The
it doesn't.
guy who's coming around accusing Big U of being complicit in Nipsey's murder, you're telling me that was all just a play to
And
Brick?
as soon as they get off the thing, go
outta
make
here.
money together. Yeah, it was a play.
No, they put it together because I can't say, but
I can show you them. Let me tell you something. One thing about Wack. I got the Wack team. Bunch of
what?
them, right?
You got,
I got
the
niggas,
Wack team?
Yeah, I got
Who's
niggas
the Wack
that
team and why?
with, that they on FaceTime with. The homies is sending me screenshots of, because they think that, oh, I don't know this dude, right? But this is a nigga I've been knowing. Brick, they don't have no idea I know this crip, but they all on the FaceTime negotiating what they gonna do next. Okay, I'm gonna tell Wack this. We gonna spin this. You do that. We do this. It was a play the whole time.
You're the
It
same
was
person.
too much said.
The same person
Bro.
who claimed that when Loose made the diss song about you, that was all a play as well.
What this song? Who?
Loose.
But that was a play.
Oh, come on. That was when he was still in Big U's little arena.
Dummy, that was a play coming out my mouth. With
That was so long. That was way before you even met him.
me saying that was a
Wait,
play.
what is a dick whip?
Look, you stupid. Me saying that was a play was totally a lie. The play was what I was saying. I'm milking this nigga for $75,000 for a run, right? So I gotta make it look like to the world.
Where would he have $75,000 from?
Nigga, I just got him a $500,000. Nigga ain't broke.
How'd he get $500,000?
What you think you the only motherfucker getting some money?
If you ever told me of a way that you were going to get me $500,000, I would probably be very
I just
excited
got him
about
a
it.
$500,000.
I probably
This a
wouldn't have
fact.
forgot about it.
It's
Yeah.
a fact. Dude ain't broke. He ain't broke. He got some money.
I've never witnessed any evidence that Loose Cannon was making money from anything. Like what?
Because what? Because you don't see what he do?
No, I'm just saying. I have no idea what kind of hustles he had going on.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
But somehow you made him $500,000 and you won't tell us how.
I mean, that's as a recent. That was just April, March.
And you won't tell us why.
Why would I?
Because I don't know. I feel like it would really help illuminate this
Everybody's not
conversation.
them, Adam. But what I'm telling you is, dude ain't broke. The nigga dropped 100 on his attorney. What you mean?
What I'm saying, he's got a nice house.
Big, you ain't got attorney. He do.
He must be spending money on Charlize Mills. I don't know.
I mean, what you mean? Like
You don't seem broke. Moving around, driving from LA to Vegas over and over and over every week to do
I mean, we all
podcasts.
do that. That's just like going to the liquor store.
Well, it's still expensive habit.
We don't give a fuck about that.
Okay. Anyway.
So the next
Yeah,
Adam and Wack, you're going to have Brandon sitting up here with you.
Well, I would love
Y'all
to,
can
but
hash that out.
unfortunately, my
Right,
co-host is running scared.
It's not about running scared. It's like I know when listen, if I know that you up to something and like you really try to use a motherfucker for your own personal gain, I'm not gonna fuck with you. The people I like to fuck with, I just organically fuck with them.
Is he really up to something, or is he up here adapting to the
nigga-
content that he believes what goes on up here?
But I don't see. You got to remember, I don't do this news shit. Whatever they do, I don't know. I do one show a week. We do our shit. I don't know what them niggas be in there doing and screaming about. Half of them be high, zonked out their mind and shit.
That's just
loose. Though, what's the nigga Lush? He don't know what the fuck He be here one
Lush
minute.
cannon.
So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what them niggas got going on,
See,
right?
with Brandon-
I believe Brandon's a great addition because he's the only one like him. Right? He's the articulate one. I don't really know if he can fit in with them dudes. I think he felt like he dumbing himself down in there with them dudes.
I mean, I think
you
he's
got
just
a point with that.
He's stepping it up. He's
you got a point with
introducing
that.
a new element. I think he realizes that he could have value on something like the news because of the fact that he obviously has a different skill set than everybody else.
But are they going to allow him to show his skill set?
I mean, it seems like it. Seems like, Lush was eager to debate him.
When you say they, who you talking about?
All
The
the other
little
hosts,
dudes they in there with.
I mean,
Man,
Flacco's the
them
one
niggas
who
in there
brought him
high.
around.
I don't think it's the dudes that's the problem. I think it's the
content?
audience.
Flacco brought him around.
yeah.
Lush loves seemingly to argue with him on camera. I mean, I like him, obviously. I brought him on camera over and over. Aunt Hefe seems like he's fine with him. Munchie seems like he's fine with him.
See, I don't know who's on this, so let me get it right. So Aunt Hefe is on the news?
No, he's just been on the No Jumper show for the last few weeks.
Yeah. I seen some weird shit you said about me to him.
Like what?
Something about you did some hater shit. You did some bitch shit.
No,
You
I was
did.
saying that you didn't let him talk.
No, yeah, check this out. First of all, I think he was a little mad that I brought him up here first.
No.
I didn't know you was trying to get him. You was trying to get him prior to. I didn't know it.
He's a
They
local.
told me.
That's fine.
No, they told me you had been trying to get a hold of him. You couldn't. Right? I know.
How could I not have? I literally had not asked him to do a podcast yet.
No, you had told me. They told me you wanted him up here. I got him up here because him and 600 run together.
I have no,
Right?
I have
But what
no
I'm saying
feeling of
is-
exclusivity over
What
it.
I'm saying is this. We had our conversation, right? Motherfucker, you don't tell me how to dictate how I'm running my table. If I want to talk, I'm going to talk.
I shared with
I don't
Ant
do what
my
you do.
feelings that you were over talking him and not letting him
I
talk.
wasn't over talking. Let me tell you why I wasn't over talking him. Because he had a whole lot to say about a nigga he didn't know. So I'm on your ass. So either you keep up, nigga, and talk back, or you don't. You had a whole lot to say about Wack clout chasing.
He was slandering
Any
Monster
nigga, look,
Cody.
this is why I can respect him. I ain't never
He
seen
was
him.
slandering Monster Cody, talking about him being a crackhead. And you didn't really even give Ant a chance to defend him.
Slow down. Paru, is that a lie?
Well, I mean, apparently not, but
Because you talking about a slander is based upon a what?
a lie.
So what the fuck you talking about?
Okay, but just because he smoked
It's a
crack
whole
at
lot
one
of-
point in
Hey,
his
listen.
life does not mean that he is a crackhead and that that's the end,
He
open
did
and
what?
shut
Wait,
of his life.
He did what?
Smokes crack.
At one point in his life?
Sure.
You want to open up this can of worms with me?
Sure.
Because there's a whole lot I didn't say.
Okay.
Where they find him at?
I don't know. Where
Here, do your math before you go to running
he
your
died from drugs?
Where they find him at?
I just thought it would have been
Where they
nice
find
that
him at?
as long
but
as
to
you
go-
were
but to go
smearing
in and
the
highlight
name
all that, don't-
of
you ain't
him,
gonna-
You don't want
that it would have been
look,
nice if you gave him a little
It's
bit
a
of room to
whole
speak.
lot. Hey, nigga, I'm a G nigga. It's a whole lot. And no, I didn't say out of respect to him.
Ooh, okay.
A whole lot of shit.
Did you just volunteer that info, or that was like in the midst of a
No, it was in the
conversation?
midst of a conversation, Gillian Wallow.
That was like the one thing that Ant wanted to kind of press Wack about during that
First-
episode was
Listen,
I
let's
don't
not use the
appreciate
word
how you
press.
spoke about
He
Monster
wanted to have the
Cody.
conversation.
Not
And in the
oppressed, but he wanted to have the conversation.
Guess what Ant said? I told him, I said, Ant, listen, Gillian Wallow said that Monster Cody was that guy when it came to cripping over all of them, right? I said, look, he wrote a book that turned you niggas out. It was a weird turnout because y'all used the book to turn bloods. I don't know how it came in y'all's 9 Trey gangster bloods. That's y'all weird thing. That's y'all thing.
You talking about the
Everything
East
Trey
Coast?
out here is cripping. Right? This is real shit. So I don't know how they did that, but they tell me the book turned him out. I told him, listen, I can't get at to him because he never transitioned. You get what I'm saying? He never transitioned. I said, now, Big,
But this was the context of you saying that Big U did transition,
He did.
which you're kind of eating those words right now,
I'm not.
right?
No, I'm not.
Big U, the one with an active
I'm not. I'm
murder
going to
case.
tell you why. If you look
Federal
at, if you
RICO.
look at Big U's RICO, every nigga in the RICO is a what? They're a Crip, right?
Uh-huh.
Right? So this is what I'm learning. When Big U was around us with us, it was a table of business. Period. It seemed to me like when he did whatever he did right with the people he felt he could trust, and he did it with his own people. So the Big U, I don't know that Big U in that RICO. I don't know him. The Big U I know, it was all business because we was building him as a businessman, and he transitioned. right? The nigga was doing this, he was doing that, he was doing this, did the football league, he did that with Snoop, he's part of the Snoop League, he was doing the backpack giveaways, the graffiti removal, the fucking continuation schools, and we plugging him with the industry shit. We helped him get to deal with Nip. We did all that.
But what are the terms that you were comparing Monster Cody to Big U
Monster
on?
Cody,
Who was the biggest gangster?
Monster Cody's, no. Who transitioned, being, nigga, if your ass did this banging on the street, went to the penitentiary, did your time, and then got back out and went back to gang banging, and you 20, 30, 40, 50 years old and ain't got no business, no nothing, you just waiting to catch a fucking parole violation.
But if the question is who did the better transition, then why are you bringing up him smoking crack? If anything, that proves that he was able to come up from something even worse. Big U never had to kick that.
Are you all right?
What?
You can't compare a dude that went and did all these years. Big U created, respectfully, his company in prison.
Yeah, but if you speaking on Wally and Gilly saying that they looked at him in a certain way, he still was legendary in the streets when it came to being a gangster.
I don't give a fuck about that. Ain't what we talking about.
So that's
we're not
that's
talking
why he
about
asked.
no
so
streets.
what was the thing? You said they got turned out by his book, but his book was only talking about street activities.
Yeah, but if we're talking about
before he changed his life.
if we're talking about the overall of shit, I said, look, bro, I can't give him the overall because he never nigga, I transitioned. It's a fact. I did everything you want to talk about, we was doing. Now, for the last 20-something years, if I think you doing something wrong, you can't come around.
I feel like if we were to rewind the tape and go back to that Gillian Wallow episode, that the conversation you guys were having was about who was the biggest gangster, not who made the best transition. I think you're moving
and
the
look, white
goalpost
dude,
now.
I'm going to be real. The terminology gangster don't come from the petty street shit. It come from the motherfuckers that was in these suit and ties really conducting business. Now, if they want to take the word and minimize it and water it down and say gangster mean a tattoo on your face, how many niggas you done shot and how much time you did, that's on you. To me, when you say gangster, I'm going off these Godfather movies and these movies I watch.
I'm thinking about King Von.
Nah, I'm not. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm just saying. I think that like everything you do after that is you leaving the streets. That's you not being a gangster anymore.
No.
So when you was coming up, you want to be like the mob.
No, when I was coming up, I understood to be a gangster mean to control business.
No, but people
Real
always try to
business.
do this bullshit. They always try to
straight
say,
up.
no, they always try to say, you know what's gangster? Gangster is taking care of your kids and having a
Nigga,
nice
that
house.
is.
That's a different thing.
No, it's not.
That is a different thing.
Not from where we come from.
Gangster can't just
because
have no
our daddies
meaning.
didn't do it. Nigga, our daddies forced us.
You can say it's the new gangster, but
Nah, ain't no
that's
new
that's
gangster.
just to like you said, the
Oh.
transition from it. But when you was in the streets, nobody was growing up and thinking about the mob. We seen the movies,
Bullshit.
but wasn't no mob out here for us.
No, what we was thinking about, and this is why me and my crew in the early 90s said, fuck the crack that get a nigga $5 for a $50 rock, and we transitioned to white collar criminals. And we was buying real estate and flipping, like my nigga, our whole perception of what that was to get to a point where we could own businesses, own real estate. So how could we get it? Well, we got profiles. Okay, well, niggas was doing this and doing that. And when we start figuring out we can buy that, flip that, sell that, refinance that, and bring it back real, then we knew we was on some gangster shit. Where did we get it from? Watching them Godfather. I studied Godfather. I still study it today.
It's a good movie.
This is real shit because guess what? His whole goal was to do what? Become legal. I took $4 million of music money, right?
So is Dr.
I took $4 million of music money and went and created a motherfucking diaper company. Why? Because in my mind, this is my way of getting the fuck away from all of it. Even the music, because the music still keep you in the lane of some possible stupidity. Just real shit.
So you saying if somebody was involved in the streets, but they ain't do as much as say a Monster Cody, but they transitioned and became a more successful businessman, you will rank they gangster over Monster Cody?
That's a fact. Because if you still doing it, if you ever read the book Visions for Black Men?
No, I ain't read that one.
Y'all check it out. It's a 110-page book by Naomi Akbar. This is the book that really made me check myself. Because if you would have told me what was in this book, I'd have got offended by it. It breaks down the transition from maleness, to boyhood, to manhood. right? Your genitals is your maleness. When you know right from wrong at the age of 4, 5, 6 or whatever, now you in boyhood. How many niggas you know that's 35 still sleeping in the same room and same bed that they slept in at 12? Nigga, you still practicing boy shit. So if you still practicing boy shit, right?
I think more people should live with their parents into adulthood.
Who come from the killing, the dope dealing, the drive-by shooting, the penitentiary, the yards, all the shit we done been through, and then transition, and now the nigga's a realtor, or now he got some gas stations, or now, nigga, yes, I'm gonna rate his gangster way more than the same nigga over here talking about, I just took a deal for 12 all day.
But that's a small exception of percentage of what you putting. Most of them niggas that came, especially from y'all era, is either dead, smoked out, in jail, and none of them niggas was teaching us, at least niggas in my era, of outside of crime and stuff like that. So to say everybody was transitioning and trying to be
Who
like
said
the mob,
everybody was transitioning?
I know, but you saying like for not to respect Monster Cody when for him he was fucked up, like you said, to maybe that got to a point of I want to just say PTSD, doing all that jail time and everything else. It's hard for niggas to even come back from prison right now with all this technology and still transition.
Okay, you're proving my point.
But I'm not gonna look at him and say because you got more money that his gangster is
it ain't
more.
about more money. It's about what you're doing. The small percentage, right? You said it's a small percentage, right?
Right.
How many motherfuckers you hear screaming, I'm gangster, 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 but yet they're not doing what that small percentage is doing? Them are the ones I'm gonna acknowledge. I'm not gonna acknowledge these niggas that all they take is a 38, tattoos on your face, bustle the nigga, get high, and nigga holler some shit out and go to jail. Everybody doing that, but that small percentage who then did that on that level, in a treacherous way, and was able to find a way with a GED, a no fucking high school diploma, right, to create businesses, create a legal lane to where now I could look at your kids and they falling in that lane. I'm gonna respect a gangster. Right. Gangster ain't to me putting in work.
I feel like we do this weird thing where we just use the word gangster to mean a lot of different things at the same time. Because, okay, if we were to go to the Jordan Downs right now and find some dude who hangs out there and he busts his gun and he sells drugs and whatever, he's a gangster. By the definition of what a gangster is, he's in a gang, he's doing gangster shit. Now, if that guy, if that guy moved out,
I may call him a soldier.
Listen, you're talking over me because you know I'm right. If he moves out and he purchases a couple of different McDonald's franchises and he works at them and he manages them from day to day and he makes a great living for himself and he has a family, etc., that's gangster.
Yeah.
Based on what you're saying, that's gangster. I think you should use a different word because it seems to me that the original thing he was doing was the gangster thing.
That's 3 different places, 2, 3 different states.
It's called being a successful businessman. Why call it gangster? That's a stupid use of the word gangster.
You want me to show you the George Washington Bridge?
No.
My cameras?
No, I don't care about that.
You want me to show you the resort in my backyard in California?
But why call that gangster when it's not illegal?
Because where we come from, right? At one point in time, I was taught putting in work, killing the enemy, doing some gangster shit.
And I agree. That is stupid. That's a waste of your life.
Then I realized the real gangsters, where the term come from, own shit, controlled shit. Everybody claiming they hood, and niggas don't even own the real estate on their block. This is why they can come through and say, if you don't live in the projects, trespassing. We gonna tear this motherfucker down and we gonna gentrify it, right? The real gangster can say, you're not gonna tear nothing down, I own this.
I'm just saying we shouldn't be using my personal goals. We shouldn't use the same word to describe a guy who's basically committing horrible acts upon his own community with them becoming a successful businessman. If you use the same word to describe both things, then the word means nothing.
Listen, majority people that come from that mob and that gangster shit, they grew up doing gangster shit. And then they created their organization with some structure and they start doing real business shit, right? You should know this.
They should pick up a different word.
How they gonna pick up a different word when they the ones created the word?
They didn't create it.
Now you're right.
You're talking about the Godfather.
Listen, the mob, they was here before us.
Right.
They was doing their shit before us.
Organized crime
So when we heard
forever.
gangster, right? If they're already saying it and we don't exist and we start adapting saying it, we can't say it came from us. But we just took it and said we're going to water it down, and being gangsters defined by these actions.
If Al Capone had opened a bunch of McDonald's and went and lived a clean life and didn't have to worry about the cops, there's no way that he would have been going around saying, hell yeah, I got 10 McDonald's. I'm gangster.
That's facts.
Want to know why? Because he's not a fucking retard.
Wack is right by technicality, but Wallow and Gilly was talking strictly the parameters of gang banging.
They can't.
That's all they was talking
They can't
about.
because neither one of them are gangbangers.
Right, but when they reading his book,
They were in the
like
streets.
everybody else out of state, they just reading him gang banging. They not looking at
Why
it.
did Wallow
the way
do
you
all that
looking at
time?
it.
Nigga, for robbers. Nigga, you ain't got to be in the street to rob a nigga. It's got to be broke, need some money.
So
There's no
opening
nigga
up
to
a
rob.
successful business and not breaking the law is gangster, but robbing people is not gangster.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is coming up, what we perceive that to be is not really what it was. When you ask yourself, the real gangsters of our world is the motherfucking government.
For sure.
Again,
talk
the
about
word has no meaning if we're going to apply it to people
It's
who are
real.
working in
See, I
government.
don't think he's understanding.
Nah,
what
because
you're saying.
without you just saying, that's why I said like now, because we could say smart is the new gangster and shit like that. That's
It's always been that.
yeah,
bro.
it has, but it ain't. You wouldn't. Well, I could say I wasn't taught that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only difference. I do understand it now. Yes, you should.
You was taught that.
No, I wasn't.
Yes,
you should
you was.
outgrow that. No, I was not.
The shit you went through. Now, you sure you want to have this conversation?
We can have this
I'm gonna tell you
conversation.
why you was taught that. You know who taught you that? Your actions, your turmoils, you going through what you went through, you taking them 7 steps from that table to that window, thinking about the shit you did to be in here for all these calendars, right? That taught you what the fuck not to do.
I said I wasn't taught.
No,
though.
no, you taught.
Life
you,
taught me.
Nigga, I taught myself some
Yeah,
shit.
but you-
That's what
but-
I'm
You
saying.
mean like an older homie passing down the knowledge
That's all
to
I'm
you.
saying.
Because
Yeah,
you don't-
nobody. You wouldn't
how
give
many
me
of
that
them-
game.
That's
Yeah.
my point. It's a very small percentage. Nigga, one of the most gangsters niggas in our cities. And this city right here.
Lush.
No.
Let's just did some gangster shit earlier too.
One of the
Shout out
most
to
That's
gangster-
true.
one of the most gangsters dudes
Y'all
in
got
this
less
city
crashing out of he tripping on
on
shit.
some real shit is Mike Conception.
Who's that?
And he in a wheelchair.
A lot of
Been in
good
a
gangsters
wheelchair.
are, yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, if you understood the makeup of Mike Conception, where he come from, all the shit he done did, he lost his legs, all this shit, but what he continued to do. Niggas his own resorts out the country, right? I remember one day coming down Sepulveda Boulevard, and I'm like, damn, that's a big ass house. So I pulled in to get a card from the people building it. I'm like, who y'all building this house for? God damn it, it was Mike's house, right? So, when I first get out the joint, I said, damn, boy, this nigga Mike on some gangster shit. I need to get here, right? So even though my first home I brought, it was already built. My second one, I watched be built. My third one, I watched them build it because I was one of the goals of mine, right? I'm sorry if some niggas think getting high and tattoos and doing time and killing your enemy is gangster. That's cool. I went through that era. With me, right? That nigga Birdman's a gangster. Straight up. That nigga got a 90-10 deal. He done sold over 1 billion records. He's still thugging. He talk his ebonics, but he's legal. He's a legal entity, and he done made a lot of other black people
Would
rich.
he still be
He a
considered
te-
a gangster
he
if he
motherfucker
didn't
right,
used
one
to
of the
run?
biggest gangsters.
But he used to run a heroin empire, and he got a ton of people
He
killed.
did what? He used to what?
Run a heroin empire.
And then he started running what?
Record
He
label.
took that money, started selling shit out the trunk, right? To a point to where it got them people's attention, and they came at him with some money. He turned it down till he took $40 million up front with an 80-20 deal, right? And never looked back, right? Now that's gangster.
It really seems like the gangster part was when he was running the heroin empire.
No, because the heroin empire is minimized.
Right. No, I agree. It's good that
The
he made it past that.
longevity and him being free and being successful is on that side.
I just think we need a different word.
No, ain't no different. You're a white boy. You can't change our motherfucking what we doing, what we saying. If we telling the youth what's gangster is owning your real estate. What's gangster is staying out of jail.
It seems like you have a hard time conceptualizing a world in which gangster doesn't mean the same thing as just good.
We got to
Like
change
to you,
it.
these
If we
are
don't-
exactly the same word.
So was
I was told killing a nigga was gangster.
Let me ask you
I
this.
did that. No, it's not.
It's not good, but it is gangster.
Nah, we got to change
So you
it.
trying to
something that
basically
people
say
in
you trying
gangs
to
do.
change the narrative is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's,
Nah, we
what,
got-
that's
we-
exactly what he doing. He ain't finna go back on that. That's exactly what he's saying.
No, we got to teach him what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Because if we tell our people what's smart to do, they ain't gonna hear that. They're not gonna hear that, right? I remember
That seems like a problem.
I remember telling a group of little niggas when I pulled up. They like, Wack, man, listen, man, like, nigga, look out for us. I said, yo, who got the report card? Everyone go home, get the report card, bring it back. Boom. 2 of the little niggas came back. I looked out for them. The rest of them, I'm like, I ain't fucking with y'all. You ain't got a report card. You got all fails. Nigga, here go a couple hundred, here go a couple hundred. 6 months later, I came back. They was lined up. All of them had a report card. If the big homie say it's cool to smoke sherm when you little, what niggas do?
Oh, that's gangster.
Right?
Nah, they
if the
did
big
that.
homie start telling the little homie, hey, it's cool to have a job. It's cool to do this. We got to change the narrative on what it is.
Yeah,
I
but you can't say it's cool to do that if you're not doing it. Then that's where the disconnect comes from. You out here running the streets, and I walk outside and see you doing that, but you telling me to go to get a job. Niggas is not paying attention to that.
Yeah, but that's why I don't run the streets.
Yeah, I ain't saying you do now. Well, at what point did you transition then? You had to go through everything first before you transition.
Don't
right?
make him tell the truck
last
driving
time
story.
I ran the streets?
Please don't tell the truck driving story. Please don't tell the truck driving story.
I know you know why you
Nah,
No, you know why you don't want me to tell it?
I'm going to walk out for 10 minutes.
You
I'm
don't
going to come
want-
back and you're still
listen,
not going to be done the story.
You don't want me to tell it
Because you told it 4 times on here
this
already?
is something that don't reach your people.
No, because I already heard it.
Now
a million
listen,
times.
he asked me when the last time I ran the streets.
No, I
No
said
truck driving story.
at what age did you wake up and say I need to transition from this? Because like you said, if you felt like you did everything under the sun
From the
already
streets or just everything?
from the streets to get to the point where you at now. Like
Okay.
at what age did you wake up? You say you was in YA.
Listen,
You
I didn't did it all, nephew. I didn't did everything.
Exactly, so-
I didn't touch every juvenile hall. I opened up Challenger. I done been to fucking Miller, Kilpatrick. YA come after that.
All right, that's
Silmar
cool.
Central, I did all that. So my last time running the streets was 16. Last time. I caught my stress. They charged me as an adult. I went to the pen. I stopped having the mentality of being a gangbanger probably when I was about 19. Is
Yeah.
when I stopped.
See, that doesn't even
asking
count, honestly.
See how you but
It's just, okay.
he can't say all this.
I'm gonna put it in perspective.
He can't say all of this and then be on here yelling Pyro.
Okay, but this is my thing.
No,
This is my
listen
thing.
what I'm saying.
I used to do graffiti.
First of all,
all through
yeah.
high school. I did tons
First
of
of all,
graffiti.
look.
I can't say I'm a graffiti artist.
Listen.
Because it was like 20 years ago the last time I did
No,
it.
listen, you missing what I'm
I don't
trying to-
think you could say I'm gangster if the last time you did gangster shit was like 3 decades ago.
Adam, you don't even, this for the first time at your table, you're alienated. Shut the fuck up, because you don't even get it.
No, I'm just telling you, I think you
Nigga,
gotta switch it
I
up.
guarantee you would have been fucked, robbed, and raped. Paru walking in penitentiaries I watched. Nigga, you would have hit that motherfucking side of that yard at 16. Nigga, went to the shoe
I
by
say this-
17, 18.
I say this with
hit a
all
3-yard,
the respect in the
19,
world.
20. No. Then sent to open up a yard. You been to the joint. You know it come with that. Well, you the first nigga in the cell. They ain't even 2-man selling. Power struggle, North Daniel, South, phones, bitches, bleachers.
Okay.
Nigga, you wouldn't have lasted days. So what I'm telling you is,
You don't
I
think
did
this
from
is a
16
little bit like the
No.
guy who's still talking about
No.
the touchdown that he scored when he was on the football team in high school?
No, I'm gonna tell you why.
It's a little bit like that,
no,
right?
you missed one. He asked me a
Little
real
bit.
question. When I'm sitting in here, I went at the reign of the 3 strikes law. So I'm watching niggas come through there where they would have had a nickel. Nigga got a dub, 25, crazy shit, right? So when I'm in this motherfucker, I'm telling myself, all right, nigga, you come young. I had 7 what have. I damn near maxed out. So I did till I was 22, right? I came home in 99, right? I always held against my father. He was a bitch ass nigga because he wasn't there raising me. But now I got a son on the streets. His first 5-6 years, I'm a bitch ass nigga too. Brother, it was dope. Violence, the gang took me from him. That's what it was. So when I came home in 99, I didn't hit the streets. I went the right way of it, right? This real shit. Now, when you doing time, you meet people, you tied into shit regardless. So now when the phone calls coming, when niggas is getting out, instead of me saying, I got a sack for you or a lick for you, I'm saying, hey, bro, let me see you in the truck driving school. I'm doing $400,000 a year with this shit. Hey, let me help you get your credit right. We flipping houses in Atlanta. remember, my whole perception of what a gangster's supposed to be in was based off certain things I watched. So I'm working towards getting there. I've been home 26 years. He mad because I'm not running around the nigga, ain't no sidewalks for the
Only
house.
thing that I'm mad about is you telling the same story over and over. But that being said,
if you would have eliminated going to the Y, going to the pen, and just straight started the trucking company, would you still consider yourself gangster?
don't mention the trucking company.
Coming from the streets?
No. I'm just saying, like you was in the streets, you was around the neighborhood,
Yeah,
but you
hell
didn't indulge in no street activity. You just went straight legit off the dribble. Would you call yourself a gangster?
because I'm not coming from that. See, when I say that, that's for niggas that come from that shit and we doing the shit we doing, and then we didn't figure out a way without Harvard, Yale, right? The dad, the uncle, passing down the shit, right? Figuring out how to do it the right way. I'm gonna tell you that's gangster all day long.
No, I agree with that.
Nigga, I got more steps in my passport than you. That's a fact.
Doubt it.
That's a fact.
Doubt it.
I'd have been around the world seven times. I bet you don't. I bet you don't.
You're like 70 years old.
You just started getting money, Adam,
I've been traveling since I was a little kid.
from your family, right?
No, bike riding.
Huh? Bike riding, doing what? BMX shit?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when did No Jumper start?
10 years ago.
In 15.
Are we really comparing who's traveled more?
No, I'm
Who the
just
fuck
saying.
cares?
What I'm saying is, you sitting up here and you a new motherfucker to the block.
Am I?
You just, bro.
What block?
Yo, listen. You just came into this corporate shit 2015, right?
Corporate.
Yeah, corporate.
I don't feel corporate.
This is a corporate business.
How? It's
I'm
a
gonna let y'all answer
corporation.
this nigga, man.
I mean, a lot of things
you
are.
got it.
Like, nah, because if you really saying you don't understand that No Jumper is a corporate entity and a corporate business,
I don't think being a corporation, having an LLC, makes you corporate.
I think having an
I don't
LLC
think
that's
that's what-
active, that's generating income and generating revenue and has employees is a fucking corporation.
But I don't think when people call you corporate that they mean that you have an LLC. Every retard
You
off
have
the
an
block has an
active
LLC.
LLC with employees that's successful in generating income.
I don't think having one or more employees makes you corporate. I don't think that's what most people mean when they say corporate.
What do they mean?
They mean that you're kind of stodgy and like old school, old fashioned.
No,
that
that's
you're
not.
falling in line
When
with
we
this
say we
government
Job, suit and tie.
Yeah. Everybody knows what it means.
No, bro.
It doesn't mean you have an LLC.
You own
Everybody
this,
got an LLC.
You own this business, right?
Yeah.
You have employees, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of successful with it, right?
We know what the word technically means.
Okay,
I'm just saying that's not really.
So what I'm saying is, anybody that crosses over to that, coming from where we come from, because this shit ain't taught at the dinner table. They ain't teach me about real estate and taxes and the FICO score and closing costs and they ain't teach me, nigga. I didn't get on a plane till I was 22.
Right.
On some real shit. When we went to family reunions, we drove.
That's cool.
Right? So what I'm saying is, coming from where we come from, when we cross over, you know how easy it was for me to get out and go get 10 birds?
You know how easy it is to start an LLC?
Yeah, but anybody can start it, but is it active?
I mean, you could keep it active. You get paid like $50 bucks a year or something.
No, it's 800.
800.
Dummy.
Okay.
God damn. Shout out to this being real. So it's like,
All right. Let's,
topics y'all read?
Before you go on another self-centered rant, let's at least consider the topics here, because I actually really want to ask these guys about how they feel about DDG and Haley Bailey, because personally, I really feel like I was kind of on the fence. Either of them could have been at fault. It now would appear to me that DDG is the shining example of sanity, and that the Disney princess is a fucking lunatic and probably deserves to be behind
told
bars.
you that.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time. Is men usually never tell their side of the story in these domestic disputes, and we're automatically the villains off the dribble, including in the courthouse. They got it stacked up against us because, you know, they get paid off us being on child support. A lot of people don't know that. That's why the men, typically 90% of the time, they're the ones that's going to get hit with the child
So
support.
you're saying the courts make money.
They make money off of men being on child support.
So a percentage of what they pay goes to the court, or how does that?
Yeah, they got like this formula. We broke it down on the show before. I don't have it memorized, but for sure they get kickback off every man that gets hit with child support. Which is why even if you make more money, they'll just take money from you instead of giving you the kids. Like, she could be homeless. They're going to put her in a hotel or a program or something, and they got this formula. They take how much time you got with the child, how much money you make. They put it in there. They spit out a number, and that goes to her, and then they get a percentage of it. Because matter of fact, some of these programs, the mom don't even get the money. They just put the mom and the kid in the program, and the program takes all the money. They're like, we're supplying housing, we supplying the food, we supplying this, we supplying that. But dad getting stripped. I don't work with guys that making over $100,000 a year, but they got to still live in their mom's garage because they getting stripped, literally. But before they got the house taken, then she lost the house. They didn't give him the kids though. So you got to look at it like, why the if the dad has the better position, he has the better situation for the children. And on top of that, children turn out better when they're raised by fathers more than raised by single mothers. Why don't the dads usually get the custody? They getting kickbacks. I just recently found that out. They're getting kickbacks.
This is like kind of late breaking news 4 hours ago. Contrary to reports, DDG granted temporary restraining order against Haley Bailey, which we weren't expecting. And then this is the other update, at least the stuff that we posted. Haley Bailey brings up DDG's brother's fist fight, which if he wasn't even there, then how the fuck
He
can you
was
possibly...
there, but he had nothing to do with it.
Okay, he didn't get involved in the actual fight? Okay. Somebody came up to them and basically said doo-doo garbage, which is, I guess is how they troll DDG, which I did not know. And she's basically saying this is not a safe environment for their child, which, I mean, granted, yeah, you definitely don't want your kid around a brawl.
He probably wouldn't have been there anyway. That was like some type of...
I'm not sure how he was able to avoid being part of this. I thought that he wasn't even there at all.
He was there, but it wasn't his thing. His brother did what he did. I think what DDG kind of messed up at is, and I told him after the fact, when he was on the way home in the SUV, he mentioned any nigga say doo-doo garbage gonna get an issue. So at that point in time, he kind of screwed himself. I said, nephew, you shouldn't have did that.
Somebody for sure gonna test the waters.
So why did you automatically believe her though? Off the
I didn't believe her. I just
think all black men are violent.
No, because originally we saw her side of things and we didn't really hear anything from him. Now this is him getting his response.
But this is why
I was never really like looking at him like he necessarily did anything fucked up. But granted, like I do feel like women almost always get custody. And when I look at the lives of most women I know who are in relationships with men, if I was the judge, I would probably look at the woman as the more likely to be an adequate caretaker. Like my own relationship, for instance, if I had to choose who was going to get custody of my kid, I think that my girl would do a better job than me. I'll be totally honest.
But statistics don't agree. Because if you look at our community, most of us was raised by single mothers. And the ones raised by single mothers all have the worst statistics in every category.
But you're saying that the statistics say that
homicide,
that
drug addicts,
a man being in the family, or a man being present in the kid's life is net positive. But if it's just going to be one person taking care of the kid, I would assume on average the woman's going to do it better.
That's why he's telling you statistically it's equivalent of a man being in a household with two parents, of a man being there by himself. So with the woman, like you just said, most of us go to prison. You end up in fucked up positions and be all emotional, like you see a lot of people that be on these shows and on TV crashing out. So
no, that's a fact. If you look at the stats, I'm talking about from runaways to drug addicts to suicide to grapers to serial killers, all single mother homes.
You could probably chat GBT that one.
Then you look at kids raised by single dads, like he said, it's almost equivalent to having a mom and a dad in the home.
Wow, that's incredible.
So the father is the key.
Wow, I would have never thought that, but that's dope. That's good.
But I mean, he playing crazy.
Why would I assume that?
But look, you got to realize though, who is responsible for dictating where the kid goes?
But you got to remember, at least he a drug addict and shit.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so he being honest from his situation.
Yeah, from his.
He's like, hell no, I can't raise no motherfucker.
He don't know if
I'm sober. You're drinking a pink edition Red Bull.
Yeah, no, I'm drinking up.
Who's got a drug problem?
It's not a drug problem.
Okay, but again, I'm completely sober. You're drinking something that looks like this,
bro.
I'm going to tell the court. I think that there might be Molly, 2C, cocaine, etc. in this little drink of yours.
Adam,
very cute.
When the last time 30 days went by, you didn't do any drugs?
I smoke weed.
No, we gonna X weed out.
Okay, if you take weed out, then no, I don't do drugs.
Shrooms, perks, all this old shit.
Okay, shrooms, once in a blue.
Okay, I guess his brick baby been gone, right?
That has been a positive thing for my drug use. Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
On the dead home.
No, that was kind of like, something cute we had in common.
You just did that. Because I put up a post the other day and said, the term on the dead homies has no more meaning to it.
Just because people have overdone it so much.
Back in my day, you said that shit, you put something on your dead homies, it was a you better been something or it better been. Now it's like a figure of speech, like said on
Part
the
of
real
a
though.
fad.
On the dead homies is now like an exclamation mark. It's just a way to end a sentence now.
But
There you go.
just
The
way
Niggas be
more
lying on the
syllables.
dead homies and all
That's what
type
I'm
of
saying.
shit. Yeah, it
So
don't really
doesn't-
have no
The
bearing.
meaning it had before, it was like solidified and niggas
Yeah.
being truthful. Now, it just, like
Okay.
you said.
Can we have a real conversation about this? If you are a person trying to make it in the world, if you are, let's say, older than 25, whether it's on the dead homies, when it's on Rolling, it's on Lanes, it's on Pyru, should you make a concerted effort to remove that from your vocabulary at a certain point if you want to be taken serious
I'm not-
in a corporate world?
I'm not tripping that because my motivation to that, this is real shit now. This one thing Suge did show me, right? If you a boss and you controller you, they gonna follow what you do and they gonna ignore what they don't want you to do. It's just real shit, right? Because I ain't never seen him change. Few people. Stunner, I don't see him change up nothing, right? The dead homies thing is just something that was a term that you use in serious situations. Now it's just like he said, it's like an exclamation mark. When you hear it, you just hearing it.
Okay, I'll put it in perspective. I remember when I lived in New York, I was looking at the newspaper and there was an ad for a place that did classes that would basically help you to unlearn your ignorant ass New York City accent for people who had that, because
Yeah.
to be real, on a corporate level, when you talk like that, when you sound like you're fresh up out of Staten Island, it's not the most professional sounding thing.
No, that's a fact.
I would say that saying on the dead homies after every other sentence is like probably a way more extreme
I'm gonna
version
tell you
of
one
that.
worse
No,
than
they
that.
gonna put a red nose on you and they gonna have you on there like when you was talking about Bobby Smurder jumping on that table.
I'm gonna tell you one worse than that.
If you're in anywhere working in a corporate environment, still saying on the dead homies, that's
fact.
that's
That's
how
how
if
they
you're
gonna
Birdman.
put you.
Okay, you're Birdman. I mean, your entire value as a businessman
I'm
is
gonna
kind of
tell you
based
one
on the
worse
fact
than
that you're a
that.
street dude, right?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Every
even that.
2,
That sounds
3
crazy
words,
too. Yeah.
But see, like I can't talk to people like that.
Mm.
It'll irritate me.
Yeah.
Like
Now
if
imagine
you
being on
around
a
me, none of my
podcast.
homeboys speak Ebonics like that. Niggas ain't changing words and letters and shit. It shit irritates. Just speak English.
What if you get a corporate job and you change your CKs to CCs on your projects for the boss?
I spell shit right.
I know. Just I'm saying
However it's
that's
supposed
another
to be
example.
spelled, nigga, that's
you
how
probably
I
gotta
spell
let
it.
that go at a
I'm
certain
not
point.
changing cookie to bookie. Nigga, fucking cookie. Just real shit. It's like my nigga. Like at some point, like
Most niggas grow out of that after a certain age.
yeah.
Like once you get involved with the corporate world at all, you start to learn how to code switch. Yeah, when you with the homies, you gonna talk how y'all talk, but in a corporate environment, you be a fucking idiot to be in there talking about on the dead homies.
It's a few that get away from it, but they ain't gonna never respect your mind on that level. That's out. You ain't finna be considered no boss or even put in that position.
No.
You gonna be a pawn forever.
What about just the N-word? If you got a corporate job, is that it's just done? You can't really say
No,
that.
you don't. Yeah, you can't. That doesn't fit.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, if you're having a one-on-one conversation with another person of color, probably you get it. You both get
No,
it.
not even that.
You say it around a white guy. I
Because
don't
if he
know.
doesn't come from that, he's gonna be offended by
No,
it.
he probably, if he doesn't come from that though, he's gonna be like, oh hell yeah.
No, he's
So
gonna be
he said
offended
it.
by it.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah, most older black men in the corporate world hate that word.
Yeah, they don't want to hear
Probably
that.
true. Yeah.
But what we took and did with that to just now it's like out of hand. It was already bad amongst us. You go to the gas station, be 4 Mexicans. Hey, my nigga, grab me some chips, talking to each other. Shit's crazy, right? So now we had to kind of like get, because we used to, if it's somebody other than us saying it's disrespect. Now it's like a figure of speech.
Well, we just had Jin Lee in here.
Oh, he gonna tell you he black.
Doesn't bother you hearing him say it?
Nah, not at all. I interviewed him first.
What is the basis by which you don't mind?
No, after it did at first when I interviewed him, dude, like he said, Wack, I hate white people. They threw me away. Blacks took care of me, taught me how to hustle and fed me, gave me somewhere. Dude, in his head, he's black in his mind. So when he's saying it, he's talking how he grew up He said, "What?" I said, "So if you somewhere and some blacks getting into it, getting rushed by some skinheads, and you see them, he said, I'm gonna help the brothers. Fuck them white boys." That's what he said. So in his head, he black. So I know him saying it, he don't mean nothing. He's told me if he heard a white boy using a hard ER, he getting off on him.
I mean, I'm anti-skinhead, generally speaking. If I see somebody with a swastika on their shirt and it doesn't seem like they're a huge Kanye
He
fan,
gonna mad dog him.
for sure, I'm fighting them. Yeah.
Jen Lee gonna look at dude like, "What's up with you, homie?" So after interviewing him and saying he wasn't a gimmick and he wasn't just trying to piggyback off our culture to get somewhere in rap music, dude really, he said his family threw him away. Now, I don't know, Rainwater saying something different. Rainwater said his daddy rich, owned clubs, and Jen Lee used to pass out.
He said it was his grandfather who started this club and that he worked there, but he got fired for stealing.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't know.
He didn't answer if he was a hookah
Now,
boy.
we talk about out here. If we was in the joint, if he's with some homies on the yard or a clique that's black, because we all got Mexicans and shit from our neighborhoods that's Power Rules, Crips, and Bloods and shit. Don't get it wrong. My homie Slick from Campanella Park, you can't tell. Slick put black when and had his birth certificate changed to black. He's straight Mexican. None of his family with him. They all Sudanos.
Who's the greatest California white rapper of all time?
California.
Because I'm not even going to just say L.A. because,
G-Eazy.
yeah, G-Eazy's got to be it, right?
Yeah, he the only one crossed over.
I can't even think of anybody else. Remember Woody
Damn, I
from
can't
North
even get
Carolina?
nobody
No, I
from
don't even know.
California.
G-Eazy the only one, he from the Bay, only one crossed
Let me
over.
ask
I know
Chat
G-Eazy is,
I
but I
thought
don't know
G-Eazy
too
was
many.
Hispanic.
No, he white.
Nah, he white.
Top
Damn.
white rapper.
He the only one crossed over. G-Eazy did festivals, overseas tour. You know, it's that Lil Wayne play though.
It's just crazy because it's like clearly it's possible for a white person to be a respected rapper. We've seen Eminem do it, seen someone, well, Logic is mixed or whatever, but like clearly,
Mac Miller.
Mac Miller.
Rest in peace.
It's possible, but it is kind of amazing how infrequent it is.
I don't know why. I mean, well, you know what? It's just kind of like the Hispanic thing.
Wow. Number one is this is ChatGPT. Number one, G-Eazy. Number two, Lil Debbie. Number three, Krayshawn. Number four, V Nasty. The ladies are holding it down. Hoodie Allen and Asher Roth, but they're not actually from California. ChatGPT, I don't understand why you're giving me them on this list.
Asher Roth, he had like one song, I think.
Yeah,
college
Yeah,
song,
you
yeah.
know, I would say G. It's like, I think what it is, because when I signed the Hispanic group, I'm like, this shit, this 6, 7, and 1 out here. This shit gonna work. They Hispanic, they ain't Sudanos, they can rap, their roots come from Mexico. But the thing about it is, the Mexicans, their people overall, frown on them in our lane because they say they acting like us. This is real shit. They frown on them. So I was like, yo, bro, I'm trying to figure out a way of how y'all can get the Hispanic people support. So, you know, they wearing French braids and shit, they tatted up. So they figure like,
But you don't even know. They're like at war with various Hispanic podcasts. Them.
well, you know,
Because they don't appreciate them saying that word.
half is the motherfuckers I clicked it on with.
You said who?
The motherfuckers I clicked it on
It
with.
wasn't over the N word. It was over them saying that blacks are holding Hispanics back in hip hop.
That's what. Yeah,
That's why we got on
And
the
it shouldn't even have got to that point. Yeah.
Because they really, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say this, they may not like it, but they don't have their voice is not the dictating or controlling voice of hip hop. Like our voice ain't the controlling voice of the fucking Harachi band.
But the
Shit,
the
you
Mexicans
can't-
have a ton of the fans, the fan buying power. Like if every rapper
But they
in
don't
LA,
support their own people.
but if every rapper from LA immediately lost all their Mexican fans, their shows would all be empty from
In
from
LA though.
They don't have to
Yeah.
pay like 300
And
person
y'all
venues.
only think about one thing. Y'all act like whites is not big in the fan base.
That's
of
true too.
music.
Especially depending on the artist. Like I remember going to a Tyler the Creator show in Santa Ana in like 2015. I didn't know that there were rap shows that
What
were
about the
that
South?
were this free of black people. There was no black people there.
Yeah, but
It
when you-
was 99. Well, a good
Bunch
mix
of
of
white
Mexican
people.
and white. But I just honestly didn't even know
But
that was
here's
possible.
the thing, though. So you're saying because you're fans of hip hop, you're the voice of hip hop?
No.
the fans are showing up for the performer.
I'm just
so
saying.
how many Mexican performers are selling out the stadium?
No, it's comparatively very small. Yeah.
Are they showing up to their own shows and outside of their hoods? Like say if you got a Hispanic artist, how many of them are really fans of them Hispanic artists?
Right. Just look at Lefty Gunplay. He's their biggest artist right now. He went like Triple Wood his first week. They didn't buy none of his shit.
Triple Wood is
And look,
crazy.
you know,
And they
But
only
that's not true that he's
Man, that's
actually their
crazy.
biggest artist.
He's
Someone
their
like
biggest artist.
OGZ is 100 times
Listen,
bigger than Lefty
No, but you
Gunplay as
got
an artist.
Lefty
saying like the
Gunplay is one of the
momentum.
most viral. Then you got like Peso. He make good music.
Yeah.
But how many of them are really in a big bracket or supporting them?
I gotta
yeah, I
correct
agree.
you
I
on something,
agree.
bro. Because you keep doing this shit.
go ahead. Talk
Keep
about it.
saying
Press list.
Lefty Gunplay.
Oh,
Hey, listen, white dude, this shit don't work.
don't make it about me.
Well, you the one calling it a press move.
No, I said a press.
You keep
Like you're
saying
pressing
Lefty
him.
Gunplay released his album.
He keeps saying. He just said it one time.
No, he said it on his other podcast.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
shit,
said
he really
Lefty
tapped
was
in.
the
All right.
only ones that did something with the Kendrick shit.
Right.
Right.
From what I seen.
This album. But I'm just here to enlighten you on something. You said this album with Triple Wood, right?
For sure.
Lefty released
double
the
the other one.
album the day Kendrick released his album in November. That motherfucker went quadruple wood. So you need to. This is his second one.
So he
If
released
you
two.
go pull up,
Yeah.
nigga, the day Kendrick released the album,
Yeah.
Lefty released 16 tracks, nigga.
Brilliant.
And shit did 400 copies.
500-600.
So I need you to start representing the right way.
No, but you got to give him a pass on that. You released the same day as Kendrick.
No,
I'll give him a pass
what you
on
mean?
that.
Crazy, hilarious, sexy, whatever the
It
fuck.
should have been the
crazy.
biggest
It was
boost
hot.
imaginable,
it was
right?
It was
Yeah.
hotter than
No,
that.
it was.
Okay, so what I'm telling you is stop leaving out the first album.
I'm gonna give him a pass on that one. He released the same. Anybody would have went Triple Wood releasing the same day as Kendrick that day.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's crazy work to even do that.
But what
He
I'm
did
saying,
that. Did you know that?
that's
Nah, I didn't
I
know that.
remember. Like, it just slipped
See,
my
even
mind.
think about it, you shouldn't even release the same month as Kendrick.
But I feel like if I have a
Whoever labels
feature
behind him is they out of pocket.
If I have a feature on the Kendrick album, what could possibly drive more people to my Spotify to check my shit out than being on the Kendrick album? You know? So
yeah, for sure.
in that moment, am I like when I listen to the Kendrick album? Absolutely, I was going to listen to the Kendrick album again and not the Lefty Gunplay album next. But in general, you know, it puts a lot more light on him and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, really, like the whole Lefty thing it's just like a deception. It's like they're just trying to fool the industry into believing that he's this big artist when in reality, bro, he had to cancel a show a couple months ago and he lied and said it was because of the fucking fires.
I think he still got a lane.
He didn't sell any tickets.
Now, Lefty
He
got
still
the
got a
lane
lane.
because we in a day and age where people fall more for your personality and who you are as a person.
But I don't
right?
think they really
Just-
like his
that's his
personality.
lane.
They just
I
like
know,
his
yeah. But
personality.
what I'm saying is,
They
that's why-
laugh at him.
Yeah, he's able to still keep himself in some way in the space of content. But and that's our point we making. Like they're mad about our perceptions or our opinions on music when they don't even support their own music.
Lefty Gunplay could be the Mexican Kramer of television.
This is the thing.
Mexican Kramer is
The
fucked up.
average
Remember
Mexican.
Kramer from
Was it-
Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah, he is
I
like
know
that.
you're
Yeah,
talking
he's like a
about-
I'm
clown. Yeah.
telling you.
But okay,
Kramer is
the
crazy.
average
I watch
Mexican
Seinfeld
person,
because of Kramer.
the average Mexican person does not want to listen to Lefty Gunplay, even though he's closer to their community or whatever. Obviously, based on the numbers, they would rather listen to a Kendrick, to a OGZ, to hundreds of different rappers, obviously. But like, you know, just because he is Mexican and he kind of represents shit that they might see around the neighborhood or whatever, that doesn't change the fact that this fool can't
I'll
rap.
tell you what, I'm gonna give you a little advice, Lefty. From what I've been seeing on the news, I wouldn't go back to your neighborhood for about a year.
Why? What's going on with
Man down. Police get
Police,
killed
yeah.
over there.
For
They,
real?
listen, they looking for any and every reason in that section. Listen, if he's smart, I wouldn't be over there if I was him. Because he's the biggest thing over there.
Mm,
Just real talk. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
One got shot, one got killed. So,
Cops?
yeah, police. I wouldn't, if I was him, I'd be done with that. Because they're going to target him.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Damn, that's crazy.
So did you believe that stance though?
What?
Like without Hispanics, LA rappers wouldn't be nothing.
Crazy.
I mean, I do think that they're a huge percentage of the fan base that actually like supports with their buying dollars by going to shows, buying merch, etc. For sure, I see that that's a huge percentage of them. But the idea that like Black people are holding Mexican artists back, to me just seems crazy because there's all kinds of Black entrepreneurs who want to make money in the music business, and for sure they're not letting the color of someone's skin get in the way. Remember when we see Stat Quo pick up Lil Xan and start pushing his little Mexican ass?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a black person holding a Mexican artist back? No, that was Stat Quo not giving a fuck about what the music sounded like or anything. He just wanted to make money, so he signed a Mexican kid. I mean, to me, the idea who are the Mexican artists that could be huge? They just haven't got a shot yet.
No, I think at the end of the day, see, our black artists, hip hop, they're promoting themselves to the world.
Right.
You know, let's get the fuck out of LA County.
I mean, there's a lot of
let's say LA
artists,
County ain't with you. Well, shit, what about the rest of the world?
I mean, there's a shitload of artists
You know what I'm
all
saying?
over California who have basically pigeonholed themselves by making, insular street-related music. And a lot of them are probably aware of that. But, I mean, you could say that somebody like King Von was basically making music for the trenches of Chicago, but then it ended up appealing to a much larger audience. But he also was making very good music comparatively, with hooks and
I'm gonna be real.
good production.
I didn't know nothing about the King Von till they killed him.
Yeah, well, that's part of that's you being old as fuck. Yeah.
I didn't know nothing about him.
Yeah, you're an old head. That's okay.
Nah, I don't know how he in the industry and all that.
I didn't know nothing
I didn't know he was a killer until
Why
they
we
killed
on
him.
music, man? We need some new artists on Cash Money West. What's going on with that?
Yeah, what's going on with
Cash
Cash Money
Money
West? You focus on diapers?
No, I'm focused on everything. Diapers, real estate, music, everything.
You need to focus on one.
Face, I didn't line him up. We got boxing matches.
You got him
reality
lined up?
shows, and working on his album deal now, which is probably going to be through Cash Money. So, I'm always doing something, but I'm gonna be real.
You ain't looking for no new artists.
I don't see none.
So what you saying? Niggas out here trash?
Well,
No, see, for one, I'm gonna be real. I don't want to sign no gangster rappers. I just think you niggas is too cool to TikTok, and it's just real shit. It's like what it takes now, right? It's 70% content, 30% music. Give me a non-rapping nigga that know how to work himself and engage with his fans, than a rapping ass nigga who too cool to engage with their fans. Because once we spend all this money and you don't do what's free for you to do, it don't help the situation.
The area of music that I consider myself to have some level of expertise in is the exact kind of artist that I would not really want to sign.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with him.
Yeah.
And then it's too high risk.
Exactly, yeah.
You give a nigga half of him or something, and you 300 out there in the water on marketing and promoting, this nigga run back to the hood, get shot, smoked, kill a nigga, beat his girl up. So now it's like, all right, well, what we gonna do now?
Like, I know you at one point at least considered working with Treyway. I think he makes some of the better Treyway 6 blank.
No, I never
But
did.
you had a conversation with him at one point, right?
No, that was all cap.
Oh, okay. But
A lot of these niggas use my name for clout.
I'm only bringing him up to
all
say
that was cap.
I think he makes some of the better
They
music
called me-
from
hold on.
street-related artists in LA, and I don't
gonna
want
clear
all the
that up.
bullshit that comes with signing
We're
somebody
gonna
like
clear
him.
that up. A white dude called me, said he was from Oxnard. He said he had an artist and he wanted me to help him with it. I said, send me his profile. I look at his profile. I called him back. I said, I can't work with him. His name is too crazy. A lot gonna come with that. You might want to tell him to change that up. When he get on, he can do what he want. It's gonna be, at this point in time, the table is still set, right? It's set. And blocking shit is real. You get what I'm saying? It's politics. So there's no way I could have did that.
You're saying the Hoovers are blacklisted from the mainstream music
No, I'm
industry?
not. I'm saying with his name
Yeah.
at our table, Big U was at our table. You get what I'm saying? So there's no way I'm gonna go push these buttons and help grow this dude who's disrespectful to somebody at the table. If there's anybody, they neighborhood, I'm just meeting them today. I got real deep roots over there. I'm not assisting to helping nobody who got a name that's a disrespect to their neighborhood. It ain't gonna happen. A lack of respect is a sign of disrespect. So how am I supposed to face my comrades over there? So I told him, look, at me, not that he was from Hoover, I didn't care about that. But if you take that out your name and let's roll another way, because the label's gonna be scared of you for one. Why? Because the Big U stigma was heavy out there. Oh, he's different, Big U gang. They don't want to fuck with you. So I told the white dude I couldn't fuck with it. And that was it. The nigga called my number. Next thing I know, dude on the internet screaming I blocked his deal. I don't even know that.
And there is some sort of weird prejudice against LA artists because when I was with Atlantic, I tried to sign Draco and basically got told no because it was too close to home. And then I seen those exact same people from that exact same label sign all kinds of murderous ass drill rappers from the Bronx and Chicago and Florida, etc.
Nephew was on some bullshit.
It's not in their backyard, so to them, it's kind of whatever.
I brought Nephew a $4 million deal, and he turned it down.
What was his reasoning?
He had the Drake song, hadn't come out. I get a call from up top in Republic. They hit Stunner hit me, Wack. They want this dude, this is what they got on the table. I said, Draco, they got a $4 million deal for you. They want the Drake song, don't release it. He's thinking, I'm gonna put it out myself. They might go to $6 million. I say, Nephew, you don't got what it take to put that out. And the politics don't work against you, because if you don't take their deal, Drake ain't gonna promote it. What makes you say that? Because he's under the Republic umbrella. See, a lot of these niggas in the streets don't understand politics. This ain't no right or wrong. This ain't no gangbang shit. It's politics, right? So what he do? He released the song. Drake didn't promote it. Didn't do nothing. He came back a month later. Wack called him, I want to do the deal. I called him in front of him. Know what they said? Shit, release it, ain't doing nothing. We got $750 for him.
Damn, that's crazy.
Damn.
It's real shit. You know what I mean? So I'll be telling a lot of people, like, when that boat come, don't get big-headed. Oh, they offer this now? Let me wait it out. It's going to be that. Boy, they be done took that shit, chopped it up, gave it to 3 other people.
That song really wasn't it.
It wasn't about what was it.
It's like
it's about what they could have did. It's a lot of songs that we think wasn't it, but it's what that machine could have did.
I'm just saying, Draco had so many bangers, and if he had taken one of them and sent it to Drake and said, "Hey, can you think of a hook for one of these?" It could have been.
Draco
huge.
had songs.
That song just wasn't it.
Draco had songs with 2 big Latin artists. He had 3, 4 songs. They knew what he had. Huge Latin artists.
Who?
Big ones.
You don't know their names?
Yeah, I know.
Me neither.
I know them. They written down.
I'm sure I ain't heard of them. I don't know why I asked.
No. Like real big Latin artists. Like,
Right.
I Googled big Latin artists.
Bad
I see the
Bunny.
name. Nah, it wasn't him. It was
not
another
that
dude.
big.
But he had some shit. So, and you know, I was working. I called flack with that because he had war with all the Bloods in the city. But they find out he had my studio sleep. I'm like, shit, the little nigga ain't did. I keep telling niggas I'm not a gangbanger. I don't gang. I'm from where I'm from. I don't hate niggas because of where they from. Now, if you do something,
You're
to
a
me,
youth offender.
huh? No, I'm just not, bro. I don't get up, bro. If we was gang banging, this podcast wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
You've never seen gang banging,
Okay.
right? On some
I'm
real
okay
shit.
with that.
That's real shit. We not niggas is just
I got gangbangs on the other day.
niggas is conducting business. But shout out Draco, but they didn't trust that you could control him anyway.
That would be fair.
They didn't trust that. Who you talking to, Mike Kaiser or something?
Mike Karen.
Okay, yeah, he didn't trust you to control him.
I don't blame him. I had no idea what I was doing at that time for sure. But anyway, like just to go back to that, I've never made my girl so mad that she switched over to caps lock mode.
What the f?
That I'm just not okay with.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, she texting you
yeah.
in all caps?
That to me, that's like
Who did that to you?
Haley Bailey did that to DDG. To me,
shit.
that alone is reason enough to have her parenting revoked. That she shouldn't have custody of those kids. If you text in all caps when you're mad,
That's some white
You're
boy shit you
unhinged.
talking about me.
get out of here.
Never mind the suicidal talk she was doing.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's
There you
get
go.
to, I know one they want. Let's get to this game, his own top 100.
The
Shout out
worst
to
list
Gang.
ever.
Yeah.
Are you the reason why you put Lefty Gunplay as number 99?
You shouldn't even been on there.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? There was certain parts of the list where I'm like, oh, Game put a lot of thought into this, and there's other parts where I'm like, Game probably didn't even look at this.
No, game.
He probably
did
had
that
to add,
list.
he had to add some new
He
generation.
did
on
the
there.
list because I can see certain people that's in there.
Okay.
Lets me know game like Osby. You probably don't know who that is.
Osby?
Yeah,
No, I do not know.
he
That.
from Blackstone.
Okay.
K-Boy. Certain people I seen in there, they work with Game in the studio. So I knew he created the list.
K-Boy should be on that list.
And shout out K-Boy.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Tupac shouldn't have been on the list. Did he put Tupac on
Yeah,
the list?
Tupac
number
on the
one.
list,
Nah,
man.
Pac
Living
going
down
number
in
one.
LA,
Pac
man.
going number one, man.
That's
That nigga's
hilarious.
not from
Wait,
LA.
okay,
To
what's
live and
your
die in
argument for
LA.
why
Hey, stop.
Pac is a LA
That's
rapper?
cool.
Five
That's
niggas
cool.
shouldn't be on there.
Just because he bounced around, he not that rapper.
Ice-T.
Didn't he live here for like a
Tupac.
year?
I don't give a f. 11
He was out
months.
here longer than that.
11 months. No, he wasn't. 11 months. Ice-T.
How long he was in Cali?
Ice-T,
Ice-T from
Tupac,
Jersey, ain't he?
Corrupt,
Yeah. Corrupt from
Lady
Philly.
Rage.
She ain't from here.
No, it's like 4, 5 of them. Shouldn't even be on there.
So
It say
Corrupt
top.
shouldn't be on there?
Hell no. It's
No,
for
but
Philly.
there's a bunch of people he put on the list that Complex apparently disqualified because he also put like Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, number 32. I mean, he's not really from here either, so that's like another weird one. We can't see parts of this because I haven't scrolled down.
Well, if that's the case, Nipsey should be 5.
Hell no. He shouldn't even be top 10.
For sure.
Nipsey should not be.
You
based off of
top
what?
10? Exhibit? You named all them. So Nipsey
Exhibit shouldn't be on there either.
So Nipsey shouldn't be over Exhibit.
Exhibit from New Mexico.
Eazy-E. Well, I don't know why people
Eazy-E
keep,
not top
keep
10.
gassing this with Easy. Like
Eazy-E not top
Eazy-E,
10.
no.
ChatGPT says
Eazy-E's not
that
top 10.
Easy is not top 10.
ChatGPT said Tupac lived here for
What?
5 years.
What?
Cube was the reason all of that was going on. Easy is not
Without
top 10.
Easy's bag and Easy get in
No.
that booth,
That don't make him a
none
top
of it
10
would have
rapper.
You have to
Cube-
consider his
Cube-
solo career.
Cube made him
10
get in the
rapper.
booth.
Huh?
Cube had him getting in the
But
booth.
Drake made him get in the booth. So
Yeah.
listen. So what I'm
Well,
telling you
regardless,
is,
we're not.
you can't. You know what?
You want to write your raps, you automatically disqualified from
Facts.
being on top.
No,
Nah, that's some
Complex
more-
specified
that's
that
some
they
more-
were not
Anybody
holding that
with a
against
ghostwriter
you.
is
That's
not
some-
we're
top
holding
10.
that
That's
against
some
him.
If you got a
bullshit.
ghostwriter, you're not a top
That's
10
some-
rapper.
You know what? Fuck Master Flex. You started this shit going at Drake.
Okay, the thing
Nobody gave a fuck
is,
about
too
this
hard
back
to
in the
figure
day.
out who has
Real
writers and who
influence
doesn't.
gave a fuck
Nobody
about
gave a
that.
fuck about this back in the day.
Once we found out that a lot of artists didn't write their own music, yes, you automatically
You a
disqualified.
Drake
But
fan?
when you're making a
said
list
who?
like this, you have to
Drake
just
fan?
say
Drake
you can't
cool?
do the who
You a
wrote
Kanye
and who
fan?
didn't.
I'll read up.
Listen,
Kanye.
because it's too hard to figure out.
I know more artists that.
Hey, one mic.
Go ahead.
If the reason why you can't count it in order to decipher who is because you don't know who wrote. Like we wouldn't know that Drake had writers if it wasn't for Meek Mill exposing them.
No, I know he had writers.
Yeah, a lot of people would have assumed, but you
bunch of
can't. But you
motherfuckers
can't.
You ain't got to assume. Even on credits and CDs, it showed more than just one person.
Like we know that
that's
Eazy-E
produced
didn't write
songs.
his raps, but that's like a weird little like tidbit that we all know because of the fact that it
don't
has
matter,
been exposed.
but it don't matter why
There's
we
probably
know.
a bunch of people on this list that don't write their own raps. I know. Oh my God, I know a rapper who's on this list that I have seen them in the studio working with a writer, and I wish I could say it right now, but I'm not going to do it.
Nah,
But
give us an exclusive.
Trust me, there's somebody on this list who's rated extremely high that by your standards does not deserve to be on this list. I can't tell you.
Tell us
Why
off air.
speaking?
I will tell you off air.
Nipsey is over Eazy-E. That's a fact.
Out of here.
Nipsey is over
Nipsey
Dr.
over
Dre.
Eazy-E. That's a
Shout
fact.
out
Hell
Cuzzy
no.
Capone.
Nipsey
Y'all
is
better-
over Dr. Dre.
Y'all better leave
He
me
is
alone.
so-
What?
such an
Nipsey
important.
over
Nipsey is
Dre.
over Dre.
What?
Nipsey definitely over
You
You're
Dre.
on
crazy?
drugs.
Y'all
That is
smoking.
impossible.
Rapper.
Impossible.
Y'all
What are y'all
only
talking
saying that
about?
because of Warren G.
No, I'm not
No.
saying. What are you talking
How we
about?
saying that 'cause of
'cause
Warren G? No.
Because
Nah.
Warren G said Dre been ignoring him and didn't get in the
Well,
love.
America has not heard
out.
a Nipsey
This-
song until he died, and still probably hasn't. Dr. Dre is one of the most important rappers of all time,
Important producers of all time.
and rappers.
How many albums you know?
Yo, that's gay. What are you doing? What
You
the-
said
what?
who? Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Don't
Shout out
whisper.
Cuzzy Capone.
Whispering's crazy.
Yeah, no,
That's
but
cool.
look, this is the thing. When we count rappers,
Huh?
we just strictly
I
going
wanna
off
bet?
of rap.
It don't matter.
Why is
You
Baby
wanna bet?
Keem above Coolio?
Who?
You said who?
Baby Keem is above Coolio. He's from Vegas. You're putting him above Gangsta's Paradise and Fantastic Voyage.
No, Coolio should have been higher.
Baby Keem was not on the Complex list also because he's not from here.
It's 5 or 6 of them niggas ain't from here.
There's so many things wrong with this. Roddy Ricch got top 31.
Razzcast should have been way higher than that.
Razzcast should have been higher.
Trey
was
D out rap
disrespectful.
most of them rappers on there.
But
If
when
we
you
talking-
saying
if we
wait,
talking
wait,
about-
when
so
you
now-
saying top
so-
LA rappers, are we saying overall?
saying rappers,
It was
yeah,
3
see-
categories they
No,
had.
you're right.
They had influence, catalog, and something else. It was 3 of them.
Yeah.
So we got to consider that. Razzcast at that point,
Lyricism.
his ass where he's supposed to be.
They had lyricism as one of the main
So
things.
now you
yeah.
got to factor in success in the catalog and influence.
Nipsey's catalog is deeper and better than Eazy-E's. He's over Easy.
Catalog?
No.
What catalog you talking about?
What you mean? I'm counting
Nigga
his
had
mixtape.
one album.
I'm counting his
everything.
mixtape.
No, we're not doing
I'm
that.
counting all the
We
music
gotta
he put
count
out.
it.
How you can't count that? It's
That's
music.
the case. We gonna count Game's mixtapes?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh?
I'm
Yes,
counting his
we count
mixtape.
Game.
I'm counting his diss tracks. I'm counting everything that he put out on the beat.
Hmm.
Game, we don't discredit Game for nothing. But especially when rap Game out rap. That's why we was even talking about this little rap beef with
y'all
the
saying,
West Coast, East Coast.
Y'all saying Nipsey had more influence than Eazy.
I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say influence.
What y'all saying, bro?
I'm not saying influence.
I'm gonna say he do. Like I said, I'm gonna stand on his heel, and I'm gonna say Nipsey made better music. People only majority
And
name.
Eazy?
Okay, the same way I do. People name 5 Eazy-E songs.
Creeping on the come up. And
about the whole album.
yeah, it's tough. I'm not gonna grab my phone, but I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really listened to Eazy as much as I should have since I was a kid. I can't name any Nip songs either while we're at it.
It
But
don't matter. But what I'm saying is, I could
that was a
probably
group
name
too.
that.
Eazy was part of one of the most important rap groups of all time.
He started it. Without them,
Hey,
What did he do when
Eazy never
without
put out
NWA, bro.
if he didn't have a
So we
solo
count
career,
groups now?
That's a
if it
group.
was just his work on
group.
NWA, he would still be way bigger than
groups
him.
now.
No, I'm
He
saying
never has to
body
put out a
music.
solo
body
record.
of work.
I'm saying
No,
if you
that's not
compare
his body
bodies
of
of
work.
work,
Yeah, we
whose
got
bodies
to.
of work is better, Nips or Eazy-E?
Easy.
Yeah,
How?
Not even close.
How?
Don't know. Take away the NWA. That's a group project.
No,
Yeah, but
that's
that's
a
still
body
part of
of
his
work.
legacy.
Project.
Bro,
Q wrote.
fuck the police was a game
No
changer.
Vaseline.
He performed it.
Cube wrote it.
He performed it.
Nip is writing his own
There's
music.
no way
We don't know
Nipsey
that.
Hussle had more influence in hip hop than Eazy.
No way.
Tripping.
Bro,
No.
people
Hard.
just
After
How
his
old are
death,
you guys?
more
You
influence.
Compton tripping.
I think
After-
this is generational also. We're older.
Nipsey Hussle had more
You
influence
didn't like
on rap
live
than
through
Eazy.
Easy, right?
So,
like
no,
you don't
so-
remember when he was like an
Nigga,
active rapper.
This is what I'm saying though. Regardless if that's the case or not, if Cube wrote all that stuff, you're just discrediting Cube's pen. Cube exposed
we're
him.
not.
What did
No,
the
we're
rest of
not.
them do after Cube left?
We're not discrediting his pen.
What did they do when Cube left?
Easy kept dropping music. He dissed the shit. Nigga, they had
Yeah,
a
huge
whole
solo
diss
career.
board.
That's what people remember. Compton
Yeah.
City G's. The
went
old
at
nigga,
Drake.
he's still cruising. Other than
Okay,
that,
when you say
it ain't really too much.
influence, who is he influencing today? Because his influence stopped with the older generation. Nipsey's influencing the younger generation. My kids listen to Nipsey, and
You
he's
sure you wanna do
influencing
this
your
with me?
generation. Yes, let's do it. Ain't no kids today listening
And
to
y'all can't
Eazy-E.
use the
None.
generation stuff when y'all
Hold
still
on,
be
hold on.
mentioning Tupac and Biggie in music.
Hold on. I don't know why he want to do this shit.
Let's do it.
These dark skinned niggas be doing this shit.
Yeah, and y'all couldn't name 5 easy songs.
Also, the
I just
idea
I just
that
want people to
kids
know
now
that.
are listening
They
to
can't name 5
Nipsey is
easy
like
songs. You
what,
might
what
can.
kids?
They can't.
What- like,
They're-
that's so
My kids
foreign to
listen,
me.
all kids listen to Nip. Go to a high school.
Seriously,
They banging Nip. That's a fact.
I've never
Okay.
heard anyone say this.
That
in my life.
influence.
What?
That influence. 200 million.
Oh,
Straight out of Compton, right?
Right.
Listen, kill it. He still got an influence. Does he not?
What is this?
Does he not?
No,
That's
this was the
group.
group. This wasn't Easy.
It don't matter.
That wasn't the
It
Easy.
don't matter.
But no, that
That's
matters.
part of his
No.
legacy. That's
Eight
part of his
Mile-
influence.
8 Mile biopic influence. That was Eminem.
Bro.
You speaking on NWA, a fucking group where Ice Cube
The
wrote
movie
all of their
start
rap.
with Easy.
One of the greatest rap groups of all time.
What does that got to do with his rapping ability?
Oh, that's part of it.
That's only part of
No,
it.
this is what I'm
you
saying.
mean?
We're talking rapping, strictly rapping.
Influence, rapping, and catalog. Those are the
but
three
that's
things that
it.
Complex
Nipsey's
laid out, which I
catalog
think makes
is
a lot of sense.
smoking.
He got
Eazy-E.
one album.
Nipsey's catalog is smoking Eazy-E. His rapping
Hey,
ability
oh my-
is smoking Eazy-E.
You talking about numbers?
And it's safe to say his influence
Revenue?
right now is smoking
You talking
Eazy-E.
about revenue number? What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about his catalog.
You talking about your personal opinion? If we pull up numbers, no way.
Oh, so we just going off numbers?
We got to.
What do you mean
Because
we
your
got to?
personal
Gotta be a
opinion,
big part.
my personal opinion is going to
That
be.
whole list change if we going off
Hey,
numbers.
so what people
Let's-
more influenced by?
let's
Marathon?
run it.
That
What-
whole list change
So
if we
It's
going off numbers.
supposed to.
Right now, more people are
It's
still
supposed to.
More people are insinuating all money in Marathon Life. And what are people still going off of Easy besides the nostalgia? When y'all generation,
Marathon
when y'all
was never this
generation
big with him
perishes,
alive.
when y'all generation perishes, it would be no longer keeping Easy name alive. Besides the small, like you said, the NWA, the albums, and Cube's influence on that group.
You know the crazy part about it? It's our generation that controls the business.
That's cool, bro. That's why I said when it's over with, Nipsey interviews and all this stuff that's still going on will still be influencing.
NWA will be remembered forever as one of the
That's
greatest
a
rap
fact.
groups of all time.
Nigga, they
I don't
started
think
this
anything
gangsta
Nipsey's done can even be put in the
that's
same
what
category.
still- the New York
y'all
hip-hop-
are still debating. Y'all are still. That's like debating Okay, G Unit. 50 Cent had influence outside of G Unit. He had influence with G Unit.
Yeah.
We're not going to take away Get Rich or Die Trying versus a G Unit Beg for Mercy album.
But when we judge
Game
Lloyd
with
Banks'
G-Unit
career,
had
we got to talk about
influence.
G Unit.
We don't have to talk about Game with G Unit. We
Because
still
that influence outside of G-Unit.
and he still was doing his thing. His pen is not questionable about that.
And you saying Eazy didn't have influence outside of NWA?
So what was Easy album? Because Victory Lap was a classic album in my opinion. So
It did
what was
50,000
classic?
copies.
I don't care. I'm saying it's a classic
Is
album.
it a classic?
No.
Man, you
What
just,
makes it not a
you
classic?
just hate
you
now. at
you
this
got
point.
some type of beef with
Yeah,
them.
that's all that is.
Y'all got
Yeah.
some type of shit going on.
Yeah,
Or y'all
it's a
had something going on.
classic.
It's a
Yeah,
classic
it's cool.
album.
But,
You
okay.
ain't
Victory Lap
you
is
can't
a
find
certified
no footage
classic.
where Nip ever mentioned my name in a disrespectful way. Me and the nigga talk, we was cool. Niggas is mad because I give my fucking
All right, now
real
forget all
opinion.
that.
Easy has the bigger song on YouTube. 426 million views on Real Motherfucking
Y'all
G's.
talking about
something
Nipsey Hussle got 220 million. Granted, 6 years versus 15 years, but I'm just saying.
Hold on, go back.
Let's
Go
not
back.
act like
hold
his
on, go back to
catalog
Nip.
is irrelevant.
Go back
He
to
lost
Nip.
20 years.
No, go back to Nip.
Yeah, his biggest songs
Cut
are
that
like
shit out,
70
bro.
million,
Y'all
and
niggas
then the
sound
one
crazy.
with Roddy Ricch is 220 million.
Y'all
It's
niggas-
6 years ago versus 15.
He lost
agree.
15 years
Go to the rest of Easy songs. Now,
Yeah,
Easy
exactly,
down. No,
exactly.
he lost
Yes,
15
yes, that's a
years.
very good
That's
point.
cool.
Yeah.
Go back to
Go back
Easy.
to-
We
go
had
back to-
music up, Yo MTV Raps.
Hold on,
No,
go back
go
to
to the rest of Easy
Easy
songs.
has a bunch of other songs that have like 70 million, 50
But
million.
all this
That's
is
640,000.
Hey, bro, all this 15 years after
That's
he
not
dead.
anything.
You get what I'm saying?
That ain't
46
Bro,
million,
all of this is
68
15
million.
years after he done
What
died
is
already.
Eazy-E's classic album?
All of them.
No,
Which one?
it's not.
Name
This one right here.
No, what is his
Easy
solo
Does It.
classic?
Easy does
That you
it.
playing from front to back.
Easy does
Generational.
it. Easy does
The new
it.
generation's playing Easy Does It?
Easy. What you
No,
know?
it's
been
What
so
you know?
long.
Everybody's
So long.
everybody is
Recency
playing Victory
bias.
Lap.
He died.
No.
so long.
Recency bias.
No.
Tupac albums is still being played to this day.
Reasonable
Facts.
Doubt still getting played to this day. Stillmatic still getting played to this day. All of that time shit that don't matter. Biggie album still getting played to this day.
But granted,
Nobody's playing
he
Easy
spent
album
the best part
You
of his
think ain't
career
nobody
making
playing
music
Easy
as a
album?
group.
on the West Coast.
No, nigga, throughout the world.
They're playing Nipsey worldwide.
Now, listen, I don't think you understand.
Go to New York. They're not playing Easy E.
You don't understand music.
They're not playing Easy
I'm
E in
telling
New
you,
York,
you don't
bro.
understand music. I
We
can
for
show-
sure understand
No,
music.
you don't.
Man,
you
crazy.
You don't
talking
understand
to
the business. of
You
music.
just looking at numbers.
Okay,
No-
but
numbers
we're
could be
not- that
inflated.
all I'm gonna look at.
The
I
business
don't
of
look at
music wasn't
numbers.
a debate.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't look at numbers, because numbers can be inflated, numbers can be manipulated, and they can be controlled.
Okay,
not
Easy
when
E.
you dealing with the world.
Easy has been dead for 30 years, and he has more monthly listeners than
That's
Nipsey
a fact.
Hussle on
And that
Spotify
shit
right
wasn't even
now.
here. That's a fact.
I mean, let's be serious.
We going off Spotify?
In terms of level of how big these
Okay,
two
let me
artists
ask
were,
you a question.
you cannot even put Nipsey close to
And I
Easy.
think,
I'm sorry.
when I tell y'all don't understand me.
And you guys are too young to remember his
There's
influence
parts of
also.
it that y'all don't see, right? Let me ask you a question. Hate It or Love It, been out 20 years. Right?
Goated.
You don't hear that shit on the radio. You don't hear it nowhere.
Sometimes.
It'll still get played for sure
not
when they
that
say,
much, but yeah.
even when they play the 90s and the stuff like that, you'll hear more of that music
Okay,
than you
but
will
hold
hear.
on. So if I was to ask you how many times a day you think that song is streamed, what would you say? And music is down 50% right now for urban. What would y'all say?
That's irrelevant because y'all moving the goalposts.
No, it's not.
The whole point is
I'm just asking. I'm asking
Because
if
you
I
thought-
ask you how many times a day it was streamed, 20 years later, it ain't on the radio. I mean, it's there sometimes. You know, how many times would y'all say it was streamed a day?
That song, stream numbers, doesn't make you a better rapper.
No. I'm saying, no, I'm trying to listen.
It measures impact
That song
pretty well.
stream 500,000 times a day, and we down 50%. That's a fact. See, this is shit y'all can't see. Because you're not in the
all right, that's
intricate-
cool. Tatiana,
Right.
Tatiana can still be getting streamed and be
Hold
one of
on.
the biggest
No,
songs right now.
This 20 years. This is Hate It or Love. What I'm telling you is, just because of what y'all see on social media, don't mean music ain't still moving.
Also, if we're going to
This
talk
shit
about
is
influence,
moving. It's moving. I can't make
We're
this
not
up.
arguing
Wow,
he
numbers,
just
though.
broke down and told you
when
why
we're
the
talking
numbers don't
influence,
matter.
there is no Nipsey without Eazy-E. They
That's a fact.
created gangster rap.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
As a group, cumulatively, they created
I
the
started this
genre.
gangster
So it wasn't
shit.
gangster raps before.
No,
barely.
No, nigga.
It was stuff
Remember,
like
it was a
that,
hip-hop
but not
shit.
quite.
This was the battle between East Coast and West. They had the hip hop, break dancing, graffiti,
Mm-hmm.
all that shit, DJing, and we came with the drive-bys, low riding, Crippin' and Blood, Jerry Curls, gangster rap.
I'll give you that. That doesn't make you a better rapper, though.
No, we
But
talking
that's
about
only part of
influence.
it.
We talking about influence.
But you keep just
We
saying
talking
only influence. Let's talk his rapping ability.
Influence people like Nipsey to want to rap.
Nipsey was a
Let's
pretty
talk his
whatever
rapping
rapper.
ability. If we put him
Are you
on
saying he's a
track,
better rapper?
if we put Nipsey on the track and we put Eazy-E on the track, who's gonna have a better verse?
I don't know. Depending
10
on what
times
track.
out of 10.
I don't know. Because I don't believe neither one of them could.
Easy
flow.
died 20
What?
years
Neither one
before
of them is barred
Nip's
up.
career
Nipsey's
pinnacle.
not barred
Neither
up.
one of them. Are you
I don't
barred
think-
up. Name somebody that you think is
Nipsey's
barred
not
up.
like some
Nah,
great rapper.
Outside of game, we
Outside
already
of
know
game, 'cause you
game.
got
We
Raz
agree
Cash.
on game. We agree on game.
Razzcash.
Razzcast got bars.
You know, Cube.
Cube got bars.
That's what I'm saying. When I don't be fucking hate, nigga. I'm just giving
Nipsey
niggas.
has
Yes,
bars, though.
but y'all saying Easy has bars and
No, I didn't. I
Easy.
said I don't think either one of them is barred up.
Kendrick is
Nipsey's
20 times the
definitely
rapper
Kendrick.
Nipsey Hussle was.
Kendrick is.
But y'all talking about irrelevant stuff right now.
Kendrick
I said
is barred up.
Nipsey is above Easy.
No.
Y'all bringing Kendrick and all these other people to get help.
I'm not bringing.
It has nothing to do with nothing.
No, not
I'm gonna tell you why. When you mention Nipsey,
Ain't
you
had
talk
more
about
money.
Just
Ain't sold
Nipsey.
more units. Wasn't as relevant as that man.
Nipsey barely got his career off the ground.
When you talk
Wasn't
about
as relevant.
Nipsey,
Ain't
it's
had
just
more money.
Nip.
Did sell more units.
When you talk about Eazy-E, you have to mention NWA. You don't mention
have to
nothing
mention
about
Q.
Eazy-E's
The nigga
solo
without
career
him
at all.
wouldn't have been no NWA.
No, without
Q,
Q.
it's no NWA.
No.
I'm giving that to
They
Q.
had the rhymes. They didn't have the finance.
And
Ain't
you,
had
it
no
don't matter,
motherfucking
but
rhymes.
you had
Cube had the rhymes.
Cube already had them.
Eliminate Cube, give them the finances. No
You
NWA.
did. Cube left. It kept moving.
And what happened after
Easy
he
kept
left?
dropping.
What happened after Cube left?
dissed. Cube the greatest of all times to me.
Q killed off the whole group.
Yeah, he definitely did that. But Easy kept going as an individual.
So who's your top 3 all time on the West?
Ice Cube, top 3?
Top 3. No, go top 5.
Okay, Ice Cube. Games in there. All time, everything. Dre, Snoop, and Kendrick.
So you put
Dre's not top 5 all-time rapper.
Okay, because I said I got
Bullshit.
I
I'm gonna
said
tell you why. When you tell me all the time, right? I'm looking at really everything a motherfucker did, right? Let's go from the production side of it. Like you said, without Cube, it wouldn't have been no NWA. Without Dre with the Beast, wouldn't have been no NWA. They all played a critical part. So to build to that, right? Now let's go to the Tupac shit. Without Dre, wouldn't have been the Pac that he turned into. Because the Pac prior to him coming to Death Row was a regular motherfucking artist that was controversial in the streets when it came to his music. He wasn't doing no sales like that. That's some Dre shit. Now let's look at what Suge did to Dre, took him down. He come back up. Nigga create $1 billion company. I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give Game his shit. Snoop is the most recognizable artist in the whole motherfucking world. Right? He's still running around getting $1 million a show, getting on stage. Right? He then crossed over to all genres. Martha Stewart over here. The nigga controlled the gospel charts for 16 weeks. I don't know if y'all know this type
We
of shit.
agreeing with Snoop.
Right?
We're not arguing. with
Okay.
Snoop.
Kendrick. That's what that is now. You know, we can't take that from him. This nigga is breaking arena records. He's breaking his own record.
It's hard to judge them during their time, but it's impossible to ignore the fact that Kendrick's had this like unbelievable like 15-year career.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'm
but
agreeing
right
with you.
now, but see, even at 15 years, niggas is leveling off a nose diving. This nigga,
He's at his high point,
Yeah, he didn't
essentially,
went
yeah.
somewhere else. So, and you got to remember the longevity of artists today is totally different from back then. These niggas lucky to get 2 summers.
bruh, how many you putting Dre in top 5 of rapping is crazy work.
Huh?
How are you
Well, who
putting
you gonna
Dre top
replace him?
5
He's had like
rapping?
2 of the
Who you gonna replace
absolute
him with?
most classic
See, and
albums
this
in
the
hip hop
thing
history.
y'all would argue.
Who you gonna replace him with?
Quick can out rap Dre.
Yeah, I put Quick
The
over
things
Dre's
that you
rap.
take
Quick's
away
a
from
regional
Dre is
rapper.
like stuff you have to take away from Kanye too.
I
Like,
don't
yeah,
care.
he was a composer, a maestro more
Shout
than
out
just a
to
solo
Quick,
performer.
but Quick's a regional rapper.
No, Kanye elevated past production. You can't compare him
No,
to
but
a
I'm
Dr.
saying that
Dre.
like Kanye, you have to consider one of the top rappers of all time. Even
talking about
if
producer
he
rapper.
had people write for him, like Dre,
I mean, he is
and
what he is.
was mostly known as a producer, like Dre, and most of his best
So you
work
saying you
in terms
put
of
Quick over
albums
Dre?
were groupings of people.
Rapping ability, yes.
Huh? No, we
Rapper.
talking top. Niggas,
So,
if that's the
neither,
case,
neither one of them in my
if
top
that's
5.
the case,
neither
nigga,
one of them in my top 5.
if that we just talking about hardest rapper, Crooked Eye. he'll fuck over 90% of them niggas.
Yeah, I said, bro.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but when we say
But
so look,
his overall,
when I think of hardest,
isn't
when I
there.
think of hardest rapper, I don't mean just Cypress. I just mean yes, you can have rapping ability, but also
I'm
you gotta
talking
be able to
everything.
make songs.
okay,
So that still
tune
counts
in
in
with
the
your
play.
crowd, right? You gotta have followers, right? That's who buy your music.
Yeah, but when you go album sales and stream, we know record labels was buying albums back then the same way they got streaming farms now.
You think they're buying them for Eazy-E?
bro.
And that's why he's beating
Listen,
Nipsey
get the
and
fuck
monthly
outta here.
listeners.
Them niggas was coming out the trunk, my nigga. Them niggas was coming. Them niggas
So record
pressing
labels
their-
wasn't buying albums
They
back
was
then.
pressing their own shit.
Was they not buying albums back then? Do they not have stream
I think
farms
that
right
came
now?
in with 50.
Not in the street, huh?
That came
think
in with
that
50.
around
Man, 50 was
50
undeniable when he came in.
No, but during
Listen, let me
50s
explain
eras
something.
when artists actually started buying albums, like around
Let me
then.
explain something to
Or
you.
like when they
Wack
started having,
trying to pretend like they didn't
the
do that.
accusations
No,
that labels were buying
did
albums was
all
like
that.
50 ushered that era in of that
They did
accusation.
all that, but what I'm saying is,
I don't believe 50 ushered that in.
what I'm saying
I
is,
never heard our artists talk about it before
50 ushered in watching the album sales. Because
Exactly,
before
yeah.
50, nobody cared about them album sales.
I
like
never
that.
heard
When
anybody
50 started
accuse
shitting on other
anyone
people,
of
that's when they started watching album
buying
sales.
fake album sales until 50.
well, at the end of the day, listen, when you're dealing with album sales, it offsets itself with buybacks anyway. This is why streaming is so dominant, because you don't gotta worry about a buyback, a leak. Leaks don't even exist no more. So DSP, that motherfucker play, you getting a count on it, right? A lot of people don't understand that DSPs come from a thing they had called the Champagne Report. When they release a nigga said, I sold 1 million albums this week, but it's 10 million illegal downloads. They like, well, f- it, let's tie a code to this illegal download to track it, and that's the stream. So that's why they stopped coming with physicals. That's where it came from, because they couldn't stop the leak. Somebody in the motherfucking label was selling the music, and it gets out there, and that's where it went. So the Champagne Report, when the last time you heard somebody talk about my shit got leaked? It don't matter.
It shit leaks all the time.
It don't matter no more, because if it's being played, it's being counted.
No.
Back then, when it leaked
But,
over
okay,
there,
I think
you
you're
lost,
confused.
you lost the
I
count.
think you're
Is
confused
that
though.
why, or did they do that to
Artists
get more
scrap
revenue?
their entire projects
telling you,
because
that's
of
what it
leaks
was.
all the time.
When you spending money,
Yo, you
packing,
don't get
printing,
that?
pressing and shipping, right? And you ship and you do 1 million that week, right? But then you got 10 million illegal downloads. They said, how could we make money off the illegal downloads? So they created a way to track it, a DSP. They tried to tie the DSP to the song.
Okay.
So now it don't matter where it's at.
But Wack, why
we getting paid
why
for
do
the count.
artists shelve their entire projects when their shit leaks?
Who?
It
Today?
happens all the time. Cardi,
Nah,
You know.
Cardi ain't dropped the fucking
yeah, but
project.
he's had huge issues with leaks that
No.
cause him to not put his shit out. If your shit gets leaked before it's on streaming
You know
services,
why?
this is often considered a reason
Listen,
to not even put it out.
You know why?
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you why. If the song is leaked, which it ain't leaked, they putting it out.
Not
if that
always.
bullshit, nigga, that's a fact. If let that motherfucker catch, she gonna claim it. When they leak it out and it don't do shit, they say, oh,
Back to the drawing board.
yeah. So it's not. This is why niggas come with this fake ass.
People also
mixtape.
get shit leaked all
All
the time.
y'all know a mixtape was an artist rhyming over other niggas' beats to show if they can make a better song than them. Now niggas is putting out shit with original production that they had to clear, claiming mixtape because if they don't do numbers, they say that it's a mixtape. Nah, that's an album, nigga. That's not no fucking mixtape.
I'm just saying.
That's
people-
why I started counting
music leaks.
mixtapes.
Know what I'm saying?
That's why we
No,
count mixtapes.
no,
Because
no,
if you
you
look
real.
at Fabulous
You real.
discography,
You gotta
look
count
at his
mixtapes.
commercial.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I give you that.
They trash. But if you look at them soul tapes, that's some of the best hip hop
Yeah, I give
created
you that.
ever.
But
I gotta count
if
that.
you go back to what a mixtape is, back to the DJ K Slay days, nigga, Slay game was he would get a hold of the songs
Gang of
coming
artists.
out before they came out,
But
right?
we're gonna write off the entire mixtape era because they weren't released on major labels.
No, you listen to what I'm telling you. Original mixtapes you couldn't sell because they're on other artists'
But
beats.
Nipsey's mixtapes were.
That ain't a
But
mixtape.
why would we not count them?
That shit's
What's
an
the logic
album,
of not counting
but
those?
because they didn't want to say it only did 4,000 to 5,000 as an album, which I would have said it because if this did 5,000, you drop the next one it did 10,000, the next one it did 15,000. You showing growth on your indie side, but they didn't. like he said, when 50 started pointing out numbers, niggas was running for the hills. So they said it's just a mixtape, like it's just marketing or promo. That's not a mixtape. A mixtape is you rhyming over other niggas' production.
But to
We
say
need to
all,
bring
but,
that
but
back.
nah, but to say all
But he
that,
was right with that.
Yeah,
He
but
was
to,
right with that.
But to say all that and then you say you only count victory lap, that just defeats that whole thing you said earlier.
Nigga, you burnt out. I just told the nigga when he said that, he was right. I gave it. Did I
don't
not?
care. Because we wasn't counting
No,
that.
no,
You said
you're
he
right.
only got one, but it don't matter.
No, listen. No,
But
he was
a
right
lot
with
of
that.
a lot of artists can take the verses now. That's why a lot of these don't see Wayne with the same jumping on everybody beats, because he said they'll take his verse and put it on their real albums. So I don't know.
Nah, you can't do that. They
By the way, we
So
got a
they
new
can't-
Wayne
Nah,
album in
you
like
can't
1 hour.
fuck with niggas.
Right, I'm waiting on.
Especially
What you
coming
think
down
Wayne
quick.
finna do, man?
I think Wayne in this climate, because everything's down by 50%, and
You could do 100.
Not even numbers. You think it's just gonna be a good
I
album?
think on the low, I think 100, 150.
Lil Baby did 120. I think that Wayne could do 100.
But this is the thing.
Yo, the sales is.
His only engagement is the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl shit.
Honestly, him having Drake on the album is such a huge part of what's going to
That
drive
ain't doing
those
nothing,
sales.
nigga.
What?
The nigga Party Next Door had him on the album with 22 tracks, and Kendrick outran him with 12 tracks.
That's the biggest album of the summer.
Nigga,
That's the
Kendrick
biggest song of
outran
the
him.
year.
Kendrick did
I
320.
agree. That album was trash.
Them niggas did two.
I don't like it either,
250.
but it's gigantic.
Kendrick Lamar, look, them niggas had 22 tracks. The more songs you got, the more streams you got. To credit to the first week, Kendrick outran that nigga by 70, 80,000 with 12 tracks. So that Drake factor right now, I don't know.
Wait, you're trying to say that Kendrick sold more first week
On
with
my
GNX
mama, he
than...
did.
Okay,
It's a
we gotta
fact.
fact check these numbers, yeah.
Cause you talking about?
Man, let's get back to the mixtapes too, man.
All right.
I'm here for it.
First week sales of G.
I don't know why you keep trying me, why won't be?
He can't believe it because he
That was
he
racist.
run Drake.
No, it's not.
It's not. It sounded like some
It's
racist shit.
Swahili.
Oh, okay. Okay, 319,000
Okay.
equivalent album units in his first
Pull
week.
up, pull
That's
up.
GNX.
Pull up they shit. On
319.
12 tracks. 12. All Kendrick got was 12. These niggas had 22. The star power and crowd of Party Next Door and Drake. Watch what they did.
Kendrick murdered that Drake effect, man.
What is it, 250?
Okay, well, for all the dogs did 402,000.
No.
You
We
just
talking
not
about
allowed-
what the
Yeah,
album did.
all right.
Yeah, don't try that.
246. So
There you
you're right.
go.
Yeah, okay.
That album was trash. though.
How many tracks? 22?
More, for
22
sure, yeah.
tracks. Kendrick's 12. So remember, the more songs you got, the more streams you accumulate.
But it was still number one.
Don't matter, motherfucking Kendrick outran him with
I'm just
10
saying,
less tracks.
It's not like a real Drake project.
Oh my God.
Wow.
He's on 20 other
It was
songs.
only R&B.
He on 20 other
How
songs.
is
Can't
it not
say
a real
that. You
Drake
just
project?
counted
Because it was-
easy.
it was
You
a
just counted
collaborative
easy with
project.
NWA.
You just box yourself in.
While
That's crazy.
suing the label.
Hey,
While
You
suing
just
the
counted
label.
easy as being real
It was a
NWA.
collaborative project with a random ass
See
R&B
what I'm
singer.
saying?
Wow, now
See what I'm
Playboy
saying?
Red.
And it didn't really get pushed that hard. And
Nigga done
you
changed
can
the
see
Bible.
that because his albums before
done
that
changed
sold
the
way
Bible.
more.
You can't say that if you just counted NWA for Easy. That's a literal contradiction.
That's
No,
real.
no.
That's the
what,
same
What does that have to do with anything?
Because that was a collective project, so was NWA. But you
I know.
counted
I'm
it
saying
as
it's
an Easy
deserving
solo
of an
project.
asterisk. The same way that, yes, Eazy-E's career is deserving of an asterisk if you want to talk
No,
about
you
NWA
said his
versus
impact
solo
was
work.
stronger with just NWA, period. And now you're saying it doesn't matter because he's
Oh
he's
my
collabing
God.
with
The
him.
fact that you guys are comparing NWA to Nipsey.
It's crazy.
We're not comparing
Y'all
that to
need
Nipsey. We're
history
comparing. Hold on,
lesson
look,
for
hold on,
sure.
You boxed yourself in again. You said he was going at the label, so it's an asterisk. Why?
Because when you're going to war with a label and they're not helping you out as much as they probably would otherwise, then obviously that's going to result
Helping
in
you
less
how?
sales.
By inflating those streams and doing what they do behind the
all
scenes.
bots, whatever Kendrick's doing. You know.
Playlisting.
Kendrick's still on the team bot.
That's why I'm not really counting
Ain't
numbers.
no team bot.
Well, he got bots.
Okay, was it bots?
so
was
he
it
mad
bot-
Drake ain't getting the
Wait,
bots.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Watch this.
Yeah, those are bots in the stands.
So we saw that Drake had to cancel that tour.
You said that. I don't know
It's
about
a
that.
fact. Pull it up.
What, you're talking about Australia?
Yes, he
Oh
canceled
no,
it.
it was a scheduling conflict.
Oh, nah, fuck all that. Was it bots in the crypto center for 3 days?
Yeah.
Was it bots when he did 9 million and 14 million? Is there bots in the seats?
Not all of them, but yes, I think that some of them,
bots,
some of those were
right.
AI.
You
Yes.
can bot all you want on this, but when it come time for them shows, you gonna see who really in them seats.
Well, actually, they were there for SZA.
Oh man.
The Kendrick hate is crazy.
No, I don't hate Kendrick.
Okay,
Kendrick's one of my favorite rappers, LA rappers of
Can't
all time.
handle it
So who do you consider the greatest of all time then? Greatest rapper?
of all time.
Yeah,
Given the same parameters we're using with this
everybody we talking about West.
Jigga.
list. No, overall, everybody.
In hip hop history.
Given the same exact parameters that we use for this list,
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Right now.
how would you go Jay-Z? Eminem sold more than Jay.
We talking
So
about
by
That's some white boy
numbers,
shit.
everything else.
everything else, Eminem would be over Jay.
Numbers. Okay, now let's go to influence. You know, you gotta remember, this Rock Nation, fucking Brooklyn Nets.
Eminem pulled the ladder up behind him. He didn't have no white boys coming
I ain't
after
taking
him.
nothing from Eminem. But if you go overall, we talking about all times and really looking at where he come from as an artist, what he turned into. The nigga was the president of Def Jam at one time, spun off and did all God knows what. Wife to back, we talking everything.
He gonna wife the baddest. Come on,
You can't count all that. That's
counting
nothing.
wife and Beyonce. is
Eminem,
crazy.
damn near every album went diamond.
Huh?
Damn near every
So we just
Eminem
talking
album.
album sales?
No, y'all,
I'm saying,
y'all
talking
using
everything.
numbers.
Your
You said
parameters,
streams.
you
Eminem
only
is the
using
most.
numbers.
Eminem is the most streamed rapper.
Influence, all that. So you said Eminem got more influence than Jay-Z?
Not more
I'm not gonna
influence,
say
but
that.
I'm gonna say he
Not
gonna
in
do more
hip-hop
numbers.
culture.
If they
Pretty
drop,
close,
M's gonna do
but-
more
Okay,
numbers.
if you say the numbers that I ain't really did compare.
Jay-Z is not a current rapper,
Yes, he is.
but you can't compare. Like nobody gives a shit when he
He's
drops
just
now.
as current
It's
as
different.
Eminem. They drop when they want to.
No, I agree. But
So
Eminem
you
is
think,
more
you
of a
think
current
worldwide
rapper.
Jay-Z is bigger than Tupac?
Hell yeah.
No, you crazy.
I don't know if I would say
You
crazy?
lost your damn mind.
As much as you didn't travel around this world,
Yeah, okay. What you mean?
Look,
you know, it's certain places you can go out the country. They gonna know Tupac. They not gonna know Jay-Z.
Now
Eminem
watch
has
this.
twice as many monthly
now,
listeners
I'm
on
going to
Spotify.
give you that one, but watch
Eminem?
this.
Eminem.
That's what I'm saying.
You got 70. Jay-Z got like
If
36.
we're looking at as a rapper and a fan, right? Okay. I believe a fraction of the people know Jay-Z. More people know Tupac, right? But let's go to the buildings.
Jay-Z got more monthly listeners than Pac.
Yeah, let's
I
go
can't
to the
believe
buildings.
it. That's crazy.
I mean, bro, when we talking about the overall, let's talk about the overall. You can't take nothing from this man, bro.
So we talking about Eminem then, like he said.
Eminem, he don't do the overall. Eminem do rap,
What's the overall?
everything. Your reach, what else have you done?
Y'all count shit that got nothing to do with music.
It got everything to do with music because it's from the music to where his influence was able to work there.
If Eminem had the desire to do the things that Jay-Z can do, I guarantee he could.
We're
he
not
could be
saying,
in those
I'm
positions.
not
to do
saying
that.
he can
So
and
to
can't.
count,
We're saying
I'm
what people actually doing.
to count stuff like Jay going to take over the Brooklyn Nets and getting champagne. Eminem can probably do the same
Rock
type of
Nation.
stuff if he wanted to.
I do think that should be excluded from this conversation.
This has nothing to do with
Because
nothing.
Beats by Dre is
hell.
unbelievable. Like it's the craziest shit ever that he pulled that off. But I mean, does that affect? We
Well,
didn't
I
mention
mean,
it once when we were talking
he
about
had
Dr.
good
Dre.
business partners.
That's
Jimmy
how they
Iovine.
dilate these conversations. Y'all start throwing in shit they doing
I'm
outside
throwing
the
it,
music.
yes, because
Like Jay is going.
rap music is created not to stay in fucking rap. Use the influence of your rap to do other things because the rap's gonna run out.
So we
We
can say
agree.
so we can say
I agree, but that don't make you a better rapper.
So we
though.
can say
you
Snoop
didn't
is we
say
can say
better
Snoop
rapper.
is bigger than Jay. We
You
did.
said overall.
If it say top 100 rappers,
That's
we
all-
got to be talking about rap.
The
not-
complex.
It didn't say.
I'm not
the
It didn't say
criteria
top.
that
made the
complex
list.
used did
And
not
that-
include
Nipsey
outside
Russell
business.
And they didn't
should
say
be
top
there.
100
You
lifestyle.
can't count
Crazy
that
as a
shit.
motherfucker.
They didn't say
Yeah.
top 100 lifestyle. If that's the case, Snoop
Like
should be at the
Rock
talking
Nation is an
lifestyle.
unbelievable
That's
undertaking,
lifestyle.
but you
We're not
can't.
talking
Like,
lifestyle.
why
That's
mention
why
that?
Snoop
Yeah.
probably
And then
number
who's
2 or
making
3.
the parameters at
Snoop probably 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Who made
Yeah,
that?
but they that's only because
A
we out
team
here on
of
the West
writers.
they got.
They
Of
kind of
course, it's
specified
the
in the
West.
article.
But he said out of all
He
hip hop in
asked that
general.
all hip. Listen,
So Snoop should be bigger above Jay-Z then, right? After everything
No.
Snoop has done, movies,
no.
businesses,
No,
TV shows,
Snoop is extremely big.
music.
But even Snoop himself would tell you that Jay-Z got some different shit going on.
Who got more influence, Jay or Snoop?
Snoop?
Who got the better catalog, Jay or Snoop?
Jay-Z.
Definitely.
Okay. So
who did better acting, Jay or Snoop?
Snoop.
Did Jay act?
He was in state property.
That's like,
Okay, so what's put Jay over Snoop? Because Snoop, he has the influence. Jay, you saying he got the catalog. So what separates them?
the overall. See, Snoop just made a move a couple years ago with the Death Row shit, and he's doing extremely well.
Son,
A lot of people was paying. A lot of people. No, he didn't. A lot of people was. A lot of people was. He was gonna sign him, but they hated on him. That's what
chained
really
him.
happened. Right?
Chained him is crazy.
Chained the nigga ain't signing
is
him.
crazy.
He chained him.
A lot of people look at Death Row far as what Snoop doing with the music, but I understand the other shit Snoop doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the technology side, and he making crazy money, movies and shit like that. But I think he'll make his move. But when it comes to Jay-Z and Rock Nation is crazy alone.
I agree, but that's the business. If we look at Jay's rapping
It's the
career,
business of what, though?
I get it.
Where
But
it come
at
from?
no point during Jay's career was he ever considered like the guy, the number one.
No, bullshit.
When all the heavy,
No,
crazy.
he was.
Jay?
What
When?
year?
What year?
Let's break.
What
y'all
year?
say y'all know
Let's
music.
start from
break it
reasonable doubt.
2001?
Let's start from reasonable doubt. He didn't exist. Pac was out.
Yeah, that
Shut
was
him down.
not a popular album.
Biggie was out. Shut him down. He didn't exist. Okay, now let's keep going.
By the time the Blueprint came out, I think he was considered
was
the
on.
best rapper. The top rapper.
What?
Yeah, that nigga.
50 was running the game.
50
ain't never-
came out.
50 to
I
give
think
to that
50
throne.
Before 50, Eminem
took
was
the
running.
throne from-
Jay-Z
from
got
Jay.
on an interview himself and said everybody got to sit this out when 50 was in the game.
They said, hurry up and drop, because when 50 come, it's over with. We pushing everything
You're
back.
right, but 50 really popped off summer of
And I'm gonna be
2002.
real. I'm gonna be real with you. We gotta consider Fifth too with where he at, cause he on some Jay-Z
Nah, I
shit
know.
too.
DMX ran the game a year.
Platinum twice in 1 year.
Definitely did that.
He was over Jay.
Yeah.
Doing movies. He would have been a billionaire if he didn't had the habit.
But see, you can't say that. That's the part. See, now you on some other shit.
But he's asking
No,
you.
I'm just comparing the
asking-
influence
so
he
does
had.
that factor in?
No, I'm saying he had the Jay-Z influence that Jay has now.
Adding
back
Rock
then.
Nation is just as bad as taking away crack.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, it's like the same thing.
Nigga, what are you talking
Nah,
about? I'm a
I'm saying,
DMX fan.
but-
his influence
you're
was
saying-
way bigger than Jay's back
I'm a
then.
DMX fan. But we
And he
said-
was over Jay.
You asking me today in 2025.
And he beat Jay in the battle. And if Pac is alive, is Jay
No, if
even
you ask
Jay?
me who's a better rapper, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a DMX fan. I am a DMX fan, as in I'm an Ice Cube fan.
So what makes you say Jay is
I'm
the
a
best?
Rakim fan.
What year did Jay run rap?
When we talking overall, maybe y'all ain't really in tune with his overall. I'm a
How we not in tune? We
I
hear
knew
everything
I
you
knew
saying.
Jay-Z before Jay-Z even changed up his style of rapping when he was rapping fast. Niggas don't
But
even
see,
be
you
in
still
tune
on
with that.
rapping.
So that's because what are we discussing in their
Because
rappers?
from rap, it's what is Rock Nation? What kind of building?
We understand what they're producing.
What they producing?
But at the end of the day, to be a top rapper, you still have to have the rapping skills. This is how the game gets fucked
telling
up.
me Jay-Z ain't got no rapping skills?
I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you're ignoring the rapping skills. You looking at more of the business ventures. He got the clothing, the champagne,
I'm looking
Rock
at
Nation. Let's
I'm
go
looking-
strictly.
I'm
We didn't
looking at
ask
the
who was
spread
better
of it.
hustlers.
No, what you mean? I'm looking at the spread of it. If you say, well, Wack, what's the most dangerous virus that we had to deal with? And I got a virus like the Black Plague that did what it
So
did
did Nas-
versus COVID. I'm going to say the Black Plague.
Okay, since we say that, did
You get what I'm
not
saying? The spread of it, the spread of his music career, bro, is undeniable.
He did sign Rihanna.
Well, we know what COVID was. That was some. I can't even say.
No,
that.
I'm just saying.
That was a bad
Oh,
example.
I was like, oh,
COVID
Mike, don't
don't even
mention
fucking
that.
Plague,
exist.
same shit. I'm pretty sure they
That
had a
don't
hand in manufacturing some
was he
shit.
that dangerous when Ether dropped? Did we feel like that still,
Hell yeah.
or did he feel like he
I
could
mean,
be fucked
I
with?
felt Ether won, but niggas was that strong. People was biased.
If we had modern
They don't
technology,
cap.
the Black Plague
I
probably
felt
wouldn't have been
Ether
that bad.
won.
Y'all cap. Jay himself was intimidated by his peers. He was scared of 50.
He was scared of Wayne.
He was scared of Wayne.
Wayne.
He said he heard the Wayne
He
verse.
said he heard Wayne, so he had to
go take
reevaluate
a
if he had to
walk
rap.
and reevaluate.
Why
if
you
he
think
can
he
even
retired?
rap.
Listen, that's not as respecting Wayne.
He was scared of Joe Budden. He
That's-
didn't want to no smoke with
that's
Joe Budden.
respect.
No, he just
Right.
didn't want to give him a verse.
No, but I'm saying he didn't want to engage in the battle either. Matter of fact, he really didn't want to engage in no battles outside of Nas. He used to send Beanie Siegel. He used to send State Prop.
That's a boss.
Well, I don't think he was a battle ready dude like that.
You can't say that when he went again when he thought Takeover was the shit.
But
No, I'm just
Nas
saying
was
that-
somebody on his level, you know, like somebody worth beefing with.
I don't think as much as shit as Game would say about
50
it.
not on his level? Worth
He
beefing
was
with?
never going to open
They
it.
went back and forth a little bit, but
He
I
gave
felt
it
like they
one
always
line.
had a little bit of mutual respect. Like, you know, it didn't really like turn into that.
50 was trying to turn it into
He
that.
bossed him up. He bossed up on it.
He jumping on
50
stage.
spent so much time
disrespecting
beefing
him.
with so many different people, but he wasn't really going at Jay like that.
I'm still waiting to hear
It's
what
like
year he
50.
ran rap.
Listen, it's some other, like Scarface. Everybody got their nemesis. When Scarface dissed 50, 50 didn't say nothing back. Because Scarface was ending niggas' careers.
Did we even hear Scarface diss 50? Who heard that?
Yeah, I didn't even know they was beefing.
Who heard that? Nobody heard that, and you
don't
know
know,
that.
yeah.
Stop it.
You was a bitch, nigga, snitch, nigga. He started off, nigga, dropping the 50-cent piece. Maybe y'all didn't know what was going
Okay,
on.
I
knew
do
what
remember
was
that, but
going
nobody
on.
cared.
Huh?
It didn't do shit.
Nigga,
don't
we
really-
cared.
Nobody cared about
We
Scarface
cared.
dissing
Why he
50.
didn't respond? You talking about niggas that didn't respond?
All right, yo, I got a dip. You guys want to keep doing this by yourselves, or
Why he
we
didn't
good?
respond? You talking about niggas that didn't respond?
What you mean? He had nothing to gain from responding to Scarface.
And we gonna end it like this. In New York, Kendrick had nothing to gain. We're responding to Joey Badass. He made it to Tulsa. That's 100 miles east of Oklahoma. We didn't hear it out here. But the little homies is underground, they heard it and they responded. And we're gonna leave it at that.
Hey, everybody go check out The Viral Way on YouTube. They be dropping different shit every single week. They got all kinds of crazy shit in their catalog. So make sure you tune in. And yeah, thank you to everybody who watched this. Shout out to R&B for giving us something nice to look at when we get frustrated over here.
That's right.
I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to
I
keep
got me a
pushing.
25-year-old.
I'm going to figure out how to get you upset sooner or later. I'm going to keep saying it.
You got to get Brandon in here with him.
You can't get me.
Yeah. Everybody, drop a comment if you want Wack to hoist his nuts up and
This is the problem.
be willing to
This
do
is the
battle.
problem, though. Wack's in control of Wack. I don't have a brick baby contract.
Ooh, damn, low blow.
Shots fired.
No, the truth can never be considered disrespect.
Low blow.
It's so not true.